Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. Good Monday, everybody. Hope you had a grand weekend. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online. ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live. Via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. If you do miss something, remember we got you covered all 3 hours to be posted upon the conclusion of the show, both to iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email the show if you like. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you're well. On YouTube, type in ESPN Tallahassee if you want to watch us performing our duties on the program. 14 notifications. What in the world is going on here? I always, I just now, when we started the show here, Tom, decided to check the Twitter just because people like to say, hey, yeah, here's what's going on here. So I'm just kind of curious. Somebody's mad at me about something, I think. Email the show if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com.
Well, what else is new? Somebody's always mad at you about something.
Oh, yeah. I'm now figuring it out. I haven't been paying attention to this all day, and then it happens. And so, it's nothing terrible, Tom.
Okay.
Nothing new has broken.
Well, there's usually a voicemail or an email.
You guys would get something of that ilk. How was your weekend, buddy?
Weekend was good. It was pretty boring by, I think, young people's standards, but, did some activities like working
by young
out
people's standards. You're the oldest 31 or whatever you are, 32-year-old I know, man.
Well, I'm also...
You're getting there.
I'm realizing, how old I am. Went out to dinner on Saturday, did some chores yesterday. Not nearly as many as my lovely girlfriend who did way more than I did. But,
hey, you know what? You and I share that from over the weekend. My wife cleaned the gutters. I told her to get out there and clean the gutters.
She got on the ladder and cleaned the gutters?
Yeah, damn right she did. And I was frowned upon by our neighbors for it. I was shamed, gutter shamed. But I didn't actually make her go do that at all, Tom. But I'm glad she did. I had mowed the lawn earlier in the day. Okay. I did what I did as a man mowing that lawn. It looks spectacular. And then I went to the backyard and cleaned some stuff up, and I thought my yard work for the day is done here. I've done what I needed to do. If there's more to do, it will be done tomorrow. But she felt compelled. She thought maybe she should chip in, and she thought the gutters needed to be emptied, and so she got on the ladder and started emptying. And in the beginning, I didn't know she was doing this. She was doing this while I was watching the World Cup. And then I flipped over to a baseball game. I was mired in my sports, Tom, trying to provide for the people of this here program. And as I watched baseball and as I watched the World Cup, it occurred to me I hadn't seen my wife in about an hour and that maybe I should check on her. Maybe she wasn't feeling well. Maybe she'd gone to take a nap. Maybe she'd run to the store without telling me, and I could text her about things I'd like. So I then went outside, and there she was in the hot sun taking schmutz out of the schmutz out of the gutters there, and she was nearly done. And I said, well, I could have gotten up on the roof there with the blower and made it happen, but instead you are going to do this by hand. Goodness, bless your heart, what a good woman. Saved me the trouble to have to do it. But apparently she came in later on and told me, yeah, well, our neighbors said, I see Jeff's car is parked in the driveway. And I said, I will not listen. That construct, I'm not held by some 1950s view of what should happen between men and women here. Just because these older neighbors of mine feel that way, that a woman's place is in the house and not outside working on the yard or thereabouts, I will not be held by those same constructs. No, that's not our social arrangement.
No, it's 21st century household.
That's right. You get out there and get the damn gutters done. I'll tell you what, I'll wash the dishes. We'll just be rebellious across the board.
That's what I was supposed to do yesterday. I got through about 65% of them. There was a little pileup. A lot of silverware used in my household, a lot of spoons especially, and I like to hand clean each one of them.
Get yourself a dishwasher.
I have one, but I prefer to do the hand cleaning.
I don't. Okay. Well, it's like people with gardening. Each to his own. Whatever it is. You go to some place, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just listen to the music.
Hey, I should mention, folks, and why don't we lead with something a little bit more it has a little bit more density to it, something that matters a little bit more than Tom and I's women doing the kind of work they ought to be doing more often. This, instead, is something that involves helping people. If you would like to help out with the East Point Fire Victim Relief Fund, you can. Go to, if you want to donate for those affected in East Point, go to GoFundMe.com and search East Point Fire Victim Relief Fund. That's GoFundMe.com and search East Point Fire Victim Relief Fund. If you don't know about what happened just yesterday, the small town of East Point, Florida, in Franklin County, suffered devastating losses. Dozens of homes have been reduced to ash, a widespread fire. 200 people have been displaced. Just a lot going on there. You've probably seen it on the news. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you were out of town. Maybe you're just getting back to your life and you didn't realize it happened. But I wanted to let you know about it.
Well, it's also worth noting, and you'll hear that PSA running. Jeff voiced it, but you'll hear that PSA running. This is a GoFundMe account that's run by the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. This is a GoFundMe account that has been cited by the governor and the state is pointing to. So this isn't, some citizen who you don't know what they're going to do with the money. This is the sheriff's office itself that will be turning the money around and putting it to good use for the over 200 people who have been displaced. So if you feel the need and you feel so compelled, that's your recourse right there.
Nicely done. Well done. Well, nothing of any consequence occurred over the weekend regarding Florida State. I don't suppose that you would need me to lead with. We just continue to recruit well. I'll say that. And that actually got me thinking about an article I read today, and I kind of would lead with this then. Down in the Miami Herald, Florida recruiting battles this year could be, quote, fascinating. Here's where things stand. It was written by Jordan McPherson, to give credit where credit's due. Tom and I have often had this discussion about recruiting battles. Oh, by the way, tonight, speaking of collegiate sports, we get the College World Series final between Oregon State and Arkansas. Just an aside, newsworthy. Those two teams hit the bejesus out of the baseball. Not surprising that they're in. Now, back to the football at hand, which is what we always try to quickly go to when possible. I had to record for War Chant today, a Hot Topic segment. You and I, on and off the air, have been having this conversation for some time. I've had it on the SiriusXM shows as well. We are hearkening back to a time that is reminiscent of the 90s, where the recruiting battles in this state are going to be as intense as they've ever been, or equal to what they once were, or something close to it, right? Partly because if you look at the circumstances, when Jimbo arrived, or if you would, became head coach after having been head coach in waiting, and he did get a distinct advantage in that he was on staff and able to kind of recruit and start setting things up for his future as head coach. But he came in at a time that Florida was really good, Urban Meyer and those guys kicking ass, taking names, all that stuff, but Miami was down. And he took advantage of Miami being down. He went down to South Florida. He got some big-name recruits, LaMarcus Joyner, et cetera. And he got a little lucky in that it didn't take too long for Florida to nosedive, and pretty soon we dominated the state in recruiting. There really was nobody else. He continually wore out Miami, just took anybody he wanted from there, and after Florida's nosedive, Florida State was able to kind of have their way. Him and his staff had their way in the world of recruiting. Hence a 29-game win streak, a national championship, a Heisman Trophy, countless pros, etc. This time around, you have a situation in which Willie Taggart comes in, and Florida remains down, really down. Like, boy, are they terrible. Something to behold.
2 4-win seasons in a 5-year span.
Yeah, that'll hurt your feelings. So Florida's down, not recruiting all that well, and so there's a distinct advantage for Willie there. But Miami's got a head start under Mark Richt. They just went to their first ever ACC championship game. I'll grant you they got beaten like a drum and embarrassed, humiliated on national television by Clemson in a way that really should set them back years. We'll see if it does. But so after having their humiliation occur, it should be noted they did still win 10 games. They did obviously get to said ACC championship game, and Mark Richt has put together a couple of classes that are very, very good. So he's got to fight to overcome that. A little bit like Jimbo had to fight to overcome Florida's situation. Miami's not where Florida was, but you understand my point. And the race is on. You know, with new coaches, you have to gain traction. You have to start in a good way in order to see an uptick. Beyond your initial year, change usually brings about a good class for most of these guys. See Kirby Smart, anybody else that's gone on and gotten their first head coaching job or a new head coaching job. And I really believe when you look at where these teams are at, it's going to come down to Willie Taggart and Mark Richt. I think if I'm a Florida fan right now, I'm extremely concerned because he's not inheriting a roster that's worth a damn left by McElwain, as you've noted. And they're behind the 8 ball in their own division, with Georgia being a juggernaut now. Changes coming to Tennessee, but South Carolina's a lot better than they were. So Dan Mullen, who I already think is at a slight disadvantage in the world of recruiting, now has this team that isn't very good. Willie Taggart, who is as charismatic, young, relatable as you could want for as a head coach and a staff that's young, that is already making inroads and did so in no time at all with an early signing period, still somehow was able to salvage something from a staff that had stopped recruiting altogether and put together something of note. Now that he's going to have a full year under his belt, where all things are being equal, he's already cashing in. You look at Florida State again, as I mentioned over the weekend. I think Dan Mullen's going to struggle. They got to win. Like, Florida's going to have to win this year. And I bring this up again about this article. The battle over the next 4 to 5 years, it's a development we're all going to watch. I think Mark Richt's going to get his fair share of guys down in South Florida because he's a Cane who played at Miami, and they're adding to facilities that were lacking. They just won 10 games. He's going to convince kids to stick around that want to stick around, and enough really talented kids in South Florida want to go to Miami if they're any good at all. Willie Taggart's going to get most of the rest, and good luck, Dan.
Yeah, this is I've been, if I was a Florida,
Alumnus
fan or
fan,
alum,
yeah.
I'd be the alarmist, right? Because I'm forever saying
they're
not good.
We got problems.
When we played them in November, I said, they're a different kind of bad. I get that we're not good and we're fighting for bowl eligibility. This team is a different brand of bad. Like, they're really bad at football. Mullen's going to help a little bit there, but the circumstances are different. As you said a couple minutes ago, if Mullen walked into Gainesville with the situation that McElwain walked into Gainesville, where they are loaded at defense, I mean, absolutely loaded
right,
for
when he got
years,
there. Yeah.
he would have done enough with the offense to put them in a position to where, all right, they're winning the East title, but there's also some pieces. It's not just about this paper title where you get to go get blown out by Alabama and Atlanta every year. He'd start to change minds of recruits because of his resume and what he's able to do. He's a better offensive coach than McElwain. He's a better head coach than McElwain. But the problem is he's inheriting McElwain's mess-ups. He's inheriting that roster that's not deep, that's bad in the trenches at this point. All the Muschamp kids are gone. So what exactly does he have to work with? And what's so great for us, and I'm not going to ignore the elephant in the room, look at how the coaching staff is compromised here in Tallahassee. You have a fundamentally different pitch. You have an African-American head coach. You have a diverse staff full of charismatic people. Walt Bell is charismatic. David
Comprised
Kelly's,
of. You said compromised. Sorry.
Did I say compromised?
It's okay. I was like, where is he? Okay, got it.
No, comprised.
Sorry, I wouldn't have corrected you, but go ahead.
That's the makings of this staff.
I
It's a
got you.
different pitch. So Mark Richt down in Miami, he's an offensive mind. He's a Cane, but he's kind of boring. Dan Mullen is an offensive guy. He's a good old boy, kind of boring. Dabo Swinney.
Really boring, by the way. I mean, if you look at Dan Mullen, he's a doofus-looking cat. Let's just say it.
He's a great coach, though.
I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. I'm not talking about him personally.
But the circumstances are killing him right now. And then you look up at Clemson, a rival of ours. Dabo is a lovable guy, but a white dude. So here you go. You have a different pitch. You have more players to work with from day one. If you're really
young
Taggart.
staff too. I think
You've
it's
got a
important.
young
You got
staff.
really young. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just about diversity. It's about the youth of the staff
They
too.
got young. Yeah.
But I mean, Walt Bell's cool.
Oh yeah, that whole staff's filled with cool guys. They got to win, but we know that. That's a given. That's any staff,
But
no
if-
matter black, white, whatever. You got to win.
if they win just a little bit, they got the rest. They got the living room. It's theirs. It's going to be theirs. And for Florida, I mean, the circumstances, McElwain walked into an East Division that was putrid. Nobody could win it. Nobody
Yeah.
could take it from Florida.
To the point that Florida did, and were terrible.
It's Florida and Mizzou that are winning the East when McElwain was at Florida. That is absurd. That's insulting to the SEC.
Well, they're not. Those two programs going to come anywhere close to winning the East anytime soon with Georgia doing what they're doing. And God forbid Tennessee gains traction, and I don't know that they will under Pruitt, but if they do.
But that's what I'm saying is I think when we talked about Tennessee the last couple of months. I think Pruitt has more players right now than Mullen does. The question is who wins that game early on to kind of set the stage for that recruiting battle. But that only gets you to second to Georgia at best.
Well,
but you got to jump over
behind
Muschamp.
South Carolina.
Right.
Yeah.
So Florida is in a really, really tough predicament right now, and it's awesome.
It is awesome. And if you are looking at, the situation you have right now with players, this is non-binding until players sign a national letter of intent. But Miami and FSU have gotten off to hot starts, top 10 classes. UF is barely in the top 30 heading into the summer's month-long dead period. It ain't going well.
Right.
It is for Florida State and Miami. It's not for Florida.
There's a lot of kids that they like, too, that seem to be, that they thought maybe a month ago, just kind of it's at arm's reach. But I do keep tabs on this, especially in the summer when it's slow. Alabama's getting yeses, or they thought,
Alabama always will.
Right, but they didn't think that Alabama would be on these kids, and now they are, these types of things. So there were a couple of big-time blue chippers they thought were going to round out the class. They could help.
It's a joyous thing.
Recruit for them the way our quarterback recruit, our four-star kids doing whatever. Florida's in trouble, man, because if the losses mount before they even have kids 100% committed, when are they going to say yes? After another 6-6 season?
Well, if they can go 6-6, Tom. that's...
Well, we played the W's and L's. I was on the low side of this thing.
We can do Florida's W's and L's again if we
redo
want.
it?
Yeah, we can. I'm more at, because Dan Mullen's a good coach, and he's going to put players in a position to succeed on a more regular basis than the previous coach, Jim McElwain, did. Boy, I tell you, I knew it at the time when I said it, and I say it all the time, especially in the preseason now, the offseason, where Will Grier is projected to be an All-American and put up these huge numbers at West Virginia. That moment was a very, very big moment. Somebody could have frozen everything that was going on around Jim McElwain in the moment and walked in and said, I want you to think long and hard about what you're about to do here. Sir, this decision could be your job. This decision's going to affect – if you're a Gator and you could stop time and walk in and go, now listen, I understand Will's alleged to have done whatever he's alleged to have done. Steroids, whatever it is.
And you may be a fan of Felipe Franks.
That's correct.
But
I can tell you Felipe ain't no, he ain't the answer. So here's the deal. Why don't we just stick by this troubled young man and let him serve his suspension and understand that there's a role for him in the future, a vital role for him in the future. So let's not be rash with our decision-making here. That's all I'm going to say to you. I'm going to start time back moving forward. Let's not be so hasty here, sir. Then you could have maybe salvaged something. But he didn't do that. Instead, he said, have a good day. You're done dealing. On down the road you go. And they are doomed to suck for the foreseeable future. And it's glorious indeed.
Isn't it kind of funny that if you really think about it, given how little they did on offense, except for the 5 or 6 games Grier played, whatever it was.
He was good, and he was rounding into form.
That Muschamp essentially won those East titles.
Oh, of course he did, with the defensive players that he brought in.
Right, by default.
Oh, by the way, I'm not – you remember how nervous I was? I came in – nervous is probably not apt, but I walked in and said, man, have you been watching Grier lately? Because Florida had stunk, and he had kind of stunk. But then we saw a couple of moments, and I said to you, I go, I think that kicking play.
Well, they had that big comeback against Tennessee. It was like 4th and 20 or whatever it was. And then after that, you saw the concepts because the offense was so similar to Jimbo's that you could see when somebody good is running it because we watch it in our own backyard.
And I was thinking, oh, he's getting it, and we got a problem. He's going to start getting it going here, and then boom, jettisoned. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, Your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
My water heater temperature and installing low flow shower heads.
We have time for one more caller. What do you have for us?
I make sure to use my programmable thermostat to regulate the temperature in my home when I'm away.
Thank you, caller. That's all the time we have today.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities would like to help you save as much energy as you can and save money while you're at it. Visit talgov.com for more information and start saving energy today.
The 15th annual Kingfish Shootout is quickly approaching. Scheduled for August 4th and 5th. With a guaranteed payout of $20,000, Kingfish prizes range from 1st through 10th place, and Spanish mackerel prizes range from 1st through 3rd place. All profits will go to the Leukemia Research Foundation, where over $915,000 has been donated in the past 14 years. To register, view the tournament schedule, or get more info, visit their website, seaquartersmarina.com, or call them at 697-8400.
Milwaukee and Cornerstone are nothing but heavy duty. M18 deals are back again. When you buy one Select Bear tool, you'll receive a free XC 5 amp hour battery. Ask store for details. Buy an M18 fuel string trimmer kit for $2.99 and receive a free M18 blower or M18 fuel hedge trimmer. Purchase an M18 fuel 2-tool combo kit and receive a free M18 fuel sawzall. Check store for other promotions. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
Don't start your day off with the same old boring breakfast. Stop by the Bagel Market and Bistro on Thomasville Road and the Persimmon Hills Shopping Plaza. They have fresh baked bagels and cream cheese every Monday for only $1.50. Green smoothies and great salads like the spinach apple salad. Muffins and cinnamon rolls are also options for breakfast. Sandwiches, salads, and more for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week. Check them out online at thebagelmarketandbistro.com or on Facebook and give them a call at 765-0598.
The holidays are coming. Well, in a few months, and that's why now is the time to shower up with a beautiful custom bath or shower enclosure from Widden Glass. Don't wait for the holiday rush. Widden Glass will take care of you this summer to your complete satisfaction. They've been helping to design and install bath and shower enclosures for Tallahassee homeowners for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with real glass people, experienced, reliable professionals. Widden's top-of-the-line bath and shower enclosures provide style and luxury at an affordable price. With the holidays coming, that means family, and that means now is the time to shower up with style.
Call today. Widden Glass, the real glass people. 222-5781 or online at widdenglass.com. WHIDDON. Widden, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. 222-5781.
Red, white, and blue savings at the Home Depot is the start of something big, like the Milwaukee M18 Fuel Blower, a special buy at just $149. You get the power of gas without the gas, and a brushless motor that delivers 100 miles per hour air with 30% less noise. That's big. So get started with the Milwaukee M18 Fuel Blower, a special buy at just $149. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. You know, if it's possible, Florida fans, we just spent more time during the break documenting your impending doom. Tough times.
You got to find a game changer at quarterback. Maybe the Frats have somebody.
I mean, that's, you're right. You're right. It's going to be fun to watch. A lot of losses continue to mount there in Gainesville. Fall further behind.
But from a talk radio standpoint, this is easy, right? I mean, you can honestly say you're not cooking up anything. This isn't a summer angle. You could say if you're down there, this is critical, guys.
Listen, we do take pride in trying to be objective when things are bad for Florida State and good for Florida State and everything in between. The same is true of Florida, Miami, or anybody else. And I think those fan bases, if they're being honest with themselves, they hate that I'm a Nolan, that they're a Gator, or they're a Cane, or whatever they are. But the people that come up to me and say, hey, listen, over the years I've kind of gotten used to you. I listen to your show. I like it. And partly it's because you'll rip Florida State when they're bad, but you hurt my feelings sometimes when you talk about Miami sucking or you talk about Florida being bad, but I understand that comes with it and all that. Okay, great, good. Let's all kumbaya here together. I'm telling you now, Florida's in trouble, and it's beautiful to watch. Not for them, but for us, yes, we'll revel in it. It's going to continue to be good. It's a good thing your baseball team's good. Another top 5 finish. But, I mean, damn, man.
This is, since last year into this year, and I'm just looking at the purge of their roster, the turnover. I'm like, all right, so who are these reinforcements that McElwain brought in? I mean, they may have an above-average defensive line, but compared to the elite play they got in their front seven the last 3 or 4 seasons, if you just judge those on the whole, last year it got, kind of ugly, but Taven Bryan was a really good player. Dude, where are these wins coming from? They were on the backs of defensive dominance for Florida. It was a joke how good those defenses were, and McElwain did nothing with them.
A nation-high 64 of the top 500 prospects from this recruiting cycle, according to 247 Sports composite rankings. That's right. That's how many Florida has, more than any other state in the country. Next up is California, followed by Texas. So Florida has the most amount of, according, again, to those composite rankings, the most amount of elite top 500 prospects in the country. And the battle in this state to bring them on in is underway. Once the month-long, once that dead period's over, I think July the 24th, then it's time to get it on again, and you'll go from there. And when you look at South Florida and the number of players that are down there, it's absolutely it's unbelievable. Of the state's top 100 players in the class of 2019, 38 of them play in Palm Beach, Broward, or Miami-Dade.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, you're talking about the need to go down in South Florida where Rick's trying to build a wall, and all Miami coaches who have success are able to do that to an extent. Obviously, Willie Taggart's got to be able to bring his fair share in from down there, and we think he will. Dan Mullen is going to fight like hell to do so as well, and I doubt it. I doubt the success is going to be there for him.
It was the foundation of what got Jimbo up to the top of the mountain so quickly, was going down there and dominating.
The whole thing, if you're a Cane, your hope is that Mark Richt, being from South Florida, having played there, knowing Miami like the back of his hand, friends with the high schools and the coaches there, as well thought of as you can be in that situation, you have to hope those relationships allow for those schools and those high schools to steer guys your way and get them to commit, overwhelmingly so, if you're going to come out on top in the state. And maybe it will happen. That's really the intrigue. That remains to be seen. But if you're Dan Mullen now, you've got to not only fight that, but you got to fight a red-hot, charismatic coach in Willie Taggart and a staff that's young with a different pitch, as you noted. And I think he's going to have a hard time doing that, because I think that the initial uptick that you get for being a new coach is in many ways discounted at Florida, because the season they're going to have on the field is going to be, at best 6-6? Maybe at best 8-4.
Right.
Maybe
8-4 is probably the best.
I'm really being generous there, I think.
Right. No, I agree. And that's the thing too. This is what hurts, is that flukish Miami victory last year was big. It was big for the Canes, because if they lose that game, they might go into that hangover period again, and maybe they go 8-4. Because, I mean, if you look at their schedule last year and you look at the results, the way games played out, they could easily lost 4 or 5 regular season games, including
they should have
ours.
lost to Georgia Tech. Everybody knows that. They should have lost the game here. And I know woulda, coulda, shoulda, horseshoes and hand grenades. I got you, all that stuff.
But it doesn't matter. They did, and that changes the nature of how you can pitch in living rooms. So that's
from a recruiting standpoint.
Right.
Yes.
If they hadn't won those games, maybe Jimbo would still be here. I doubt it. But if Willie comes in and we beat Miami last year, well, then he's got a leg up on everybody. And we're not talking. It's a race for second place. But that's not the case now. Since Miami beat us last year, Richt has a little bit more of a real pitch to make. And he's been in living rooms for a couple of years to Willie coming into Florida living rooms for the first time, or his staff, I should say.
The whole thing, we're talking about two coaches that need to do something very similar. But if Mark Richt can get somebody to win the job aside from Malik Rozier, who can play, then they've got a chance to really build upon that 10-3 season they just had. It ended disastrously, and a lot of people will note how many, hair of your chin wins they had. But you're right, they won 10 games and they got to the ACC championship game, where they were quickly shown how far away they are from truly contending against good football teams. But a quarterback changes all that, because Rozier sucks. So if they get a player in there who's any good at all, Miami will, because they got a very good defense, a lot of talent there, and he has recruited well. So if they get any quarterback play at all, they're going to build. Florida, you're right. I think this year is pivotal in that if they can get a modicum of decent play out of that position and find a way to somehow win 8 games, people will say, okay, we got a competent head coach who's getting good offensive football out there. Florida fans are frustrated by a lot of things. It's not just the record. It's that they look like ass. Every time you watch them, even when they were winning the East, they looked like ass. They were butt sorry. They won a terrible division that was down, and everybody knew they were lambs being led to the slaughter. End of story. And they hid behind that we're East champs crap, but they're the ones that were real knew in their heart of hearts they weren't any good.
No, we could destroy them every year ourselves.
Yes, and we did, and we weren't all that good.
Right. We were kind of trending down.
We were
just
trending
a little
down,
bit.
but we knew we were going to beat their sorry ass.
Right, and that's the interesting part about recruiting as it pertains to this era. Is it's gotten so interesting, not just in the state of Florida, where maybe we're hearkening back to the '90s. Mullen has to get lucky though for it to get there. They need to win 8 this year. If they do, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
and they can. It could happen. It'd be tough, but it could happen. But you look at all the other schools in the Southeast that are coming down here. Georgia's back, man. We'll see for how long, but they're absolutely the cool kid in a living room right now.
Well, damn right. They just played for the national title, and if Tua hadn't come off the bench, they would have won it.
Right. Dabo and Clemson, obviously, they're there every single year. They're the ACC's best program right now.
And that's really, okay, so Miami is a concern, but they're in another division, so we have to get back to winning the Atlantic. And right now, we feel like we're at a pretty good distance. Well, unfortunately, at arm's length from Clemson now, and that's what we have to get back to. We have to get back to where we win our fair share of that division. We'll worry about Miami down the road. Florida's got to concern themselves with everybody. They got to concern themselves with Georgia. They have to concern themselves with South Carolina. They have to concern themselves from any number of teams in the West. They have to concern themselves within the state of Florida, all around them, with the uptick in recruiting being done by Florida Atlantic and South Florida and Miami and Florida State. They've got so many things that they're worried about right now, and trying to undo the disaster of the last, how many years has Florida sucked now? 6, 7 years?
Right, exactly. Yeah, this is going back to when kids are in 2nd and 3rd grade. The last time that Florida was anything worth a damn. And that's the fun of it for all of us, but it's also important that we have our unique recruiting pitch. We have our own thing, man. If we win 9, 10 games this year, and it's fun, and it's just
No, they got to win 8 games. If they win 8 games, then it's fun.
That's true, because you're going to win one big game if you win 8.
Yeah, if you win 8 games, you're going to have, look, year 1, implementing a new offense, a new defense, complete overhaul of the way you play the game, the recruiting pitch, everything, and one of the nation's toughest schedules. And that's indisputable by every means to measure those things. It doesn't matter where you look. Florida State has considered one of the most difficult schedules in the country. You win 8 games that first year.
But also consider this. You've got 3 chances to sell recruits. Sometimes the home schedule is kind of, there's only one, the Miami game, and that's
Virginia
it for the kid.
Tech, Clemson, Florida.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those 3 games. Home atmospheres here at Doak. Are you kidding me?
By the way, Florida's schedule, they obviously they'll win 1 game against Charleston Southern. They do get Kentucky at home at night. Raucous atmosphere.
Prime time.
That'll be an SEC
Got to
Network.
get a clip for Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Title fight.
That'll be an SEC Network game. Then it's Colorado State. Pretty good game. They ought to win that one, but they go to Tennessee. Woo.
That's a biggie for Pruitt. Yeah. That's a big one.
Well, I'm telling you here, listen, this is the stretch. You ready for this? Because this will be their season. Florida on the 22nd plays Tennessee on the road. Toss-up game. Neither program's any good right now. On the 29th, they play Mississippi State on the road. That's a loss for Florida. That's a good Mississippi State team. And Joe Moorhead was a good hire for them. Mississippi State's not bad. Then they host Florida. Then Florida hosts LSU. Florida hosts LSU.
Okay.
Then they go on the road to Vandy, win, and then they go and they play in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party against Georgia. So this is the stretch. Tennessee, Mississippi State, LSU, Vandy, Florida. So you think of 4 or 5 games.
They got to win 2.
The 2 candidates for them to, well, they'll beat Vanderbilt, but right. Maybe LSU, because they beat LSU even when Florida's bad, they seem to beat LSU.
Yes. We're going to find out about Florida's trenches in that game because it's going to be boring and can they hold up? They've been able to in years past.
2 weeks after that, they end up playing South Carolina.
Ooh, buddy.
And they get us at the end of the year.
They play us. Right, so it's all about that September when they schedule nobodies, right? They got to...
So let's find the guaranteed wins on Florida's schedule and move on. You ready?
Let's exercise.
So here, find the guaranteed wins. Mm-hmm. And don't be willy-nilly throwing around wins, Tom. That's just your nature. You love just throw around wins. Here we go. Charleston Southern, we agree. Yes, win. No matter what. Can't lose it. It's impossible.
Right.
Kentucky.
That's not a guaranteed win.
Mm-hmm. Colorado State.
Kentucky should have beaten the last couple of years. I don't know enough about Colorado State. Weren't they terrible last year?
That's a win. I'm going to give them a win.
You're going to give them a guaranteed win?
I think so.
Okay.
It's in Gainesville.
I don't know enough about them.
Fine. 9. Yeah. Sorry. Forgot we weren't in private having this conversation. Oh, man. It's going to be very hot, Tom. Very, very warm.
Yeah, like the control room on a Monday afternoon.
All right, so I like how it hit you a few seconds later. You're like, oh, yeah, this isn't us at the bar talking. We're doing a live radio.
It feels like it. I guess that means we're doing okay.
All right, so it's going to be hot.
Yep.
For Colorado State, I'm going to give that win to Florida.
Gotta check the delay at the break.
Then I got to give them a win against Vandy.
Yes. I mean, Vandy's no good, right? I don't know.
It's Vandy. Of course not. So
they beat him in 13 for homecoming.
Okay, so that's 3 guaranteed wins.
Don't flip off the camera.
Are you going to give them a guaranteed win against Missouri?
No, Missouri can score, right?
It's in the swamp.
Yeah, but Missouri can score a lot of points,
right?
So
let me find Idaho. They'll beat Idaho. We know that.
Yep.
All right, so 4. We got 4 guaranteed wins. And that's giving them Colorado State.
I don't know anything about them. I know their colors. That's it.
All right, so that's what we're going with. 4. 4 guaranteed wins.
So they need 4 more out of the other 8. Yeesh.
If you want to know Colorado State's schedule, just because we're curious, Hawaii, Colorado, Arkansas. Ooh, we got a Woo Pig Suey bet up there on the Bold Endeavor board.
We both probably picked Arkansas, right?
We did. Yeah. What did I say about Woo Pigs? I said I had them going 5-2 in the conference. Is that right? What 5 and 7?
Going 5 and
5 and 7. I didn't have them going 5 and 2 in the conference.
Yeah, I have them going 4 and 8.
When I saw that, I went, "What in the world?" Yeah, you have them going 4 and 8.
Yeah, they're losing to Tulsa.
Yeah, that's the big Bold Endeavor there. Mm-hmm. Director Young Matthew, went 6 and 6.
That's quote just to be different end quote.
He's a fence rider. So 5 and 7. There it is. All right. Now you got me thinking about that big Wyoming-Colorado State game in October. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
World Cup, Uruguay beat Russia 3-0. Uruguay won Group A and plays the Group B runner-up. Russia will play the Group B winner.
There's big savings today, up to $1,000 off at TNT Supercenter on the brand new QuietTech Yamaha gas golf carts. The new Yamaha technology combines the quietness of electric with the dependability of gas and the very first independent rear suspension ever found in a golf car. Choose from over 30 new gas Yamahas, including 4-passenger Adventure Sports and the 6-passenger Concierge. Ask about zero down and low interest financing with approved credit. And TNT delivery is free from Valdosta to Tallahassee. Just in at TNT Supercenter, a special fleet purchase of 2016 Club Car Precedent golf cars. These like-new Club Car golf cars at TNT Supercenter are $27.99, including the charger and windshield. Only at TNT Supercenter, and only while they last. Just $27.99. Zero down and low-interest financing available with approved credit. And delivery is free from Valdosta to Tallahassee. US 19 South, next to the Dairy Queen in Thomasville. View inventory and pricing at TNTSupercenter.com. TNT Supercenter, Thomasville, Georgia.
Could you turn that down a little, please? Hello, my name is Jim Smith, and I'm the owner of Poor Paul's here in Tallahassee. First, I want to thank you all for stopping. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm here on the Capitol steps and why I don't have any clothes on.
Because you're a pervert.
Let me explain. This is being recorded for a Poor Paul's radio commercial, and I think if I record it totally nude, people will pay more attention to my message. Business is great at Poor Paul's, but I still have one small problem.
I'll say you do.
My problem is that in spite of having free Gumby's Pizza and $4.95 pitchers every Sunday and Monday night, free beer and free mixed drinks for our lovely ladies every Tuesday night, and other great money-saving specials every other night of the week, some of you are still going to other bars. Bars whose owners would never bare their souls, so to speak, as I am. So I'm simply asking for your business so Poor Paul's can grow.
I see something else that needs to grow.
This isn't working. Hand me that towel, please.
I have a hanky.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with new, clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. Why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he wants it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, Thursday and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
I'm Michael Blank, attorney with the law office of Jose Fernandez. If you've been in an accident, I know this can be a scary and confusing time. Our firm specializes in handling all types of accident and injury cases. Let us guide you through the process and get you the compensation you deserve. Call 855-HOSE-305 to make an appointment for your free consultation today. If you can't come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the law office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
Red, white, and blue savings at the Home Depot is the start of something big, like the Milwaukee M18 Fuel Blower, a special buy at just $149. You get the power of gas without the gas, and a brushless motor that delivers 100 miles per hour air with 30% less noise. That's big. So get started with the Milwaukee M18 Fuel Blower, a special buy at just $149. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Not a lengthy segment here because we've spent so much time in this first hour documenting the impending doom for Florida's football season. July's almost here, Florida fans. You can't stave it off forever. Soon you will be thinking each and every day as it inches closer what kind of disastrous first season Dan Mullen's going to have and the pain that will cause you. Because it will lead to yet another poor season the following year. And the depths to which you have fallen will become abundantly clear.
Best news for Florida, though, is that LSU is their cross-division rival, and LSU's on hard times, too.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I think I have said from the beginning that, there's a good chance that's not going to work out at LSU when they went that route. When they decided to go on the cheap, we went, well, he may be an eminently likable fellow, that Ed Orgeron, but no, that ain't going to work. Isn't it funny? Sometimes you get proven wrong. Sometimes you make certain assumptions about guys based on perhaps how they are in front of a camera, how they talk about their team, their program, whatever it might be. Other times it's a track record of failing miserably when they've had other chances as a head coach. Sometimes it combines the two. And that was LSU, combining the two.
I just wish that we could have an alternate universe season where Alabama and its excellence doesn't exist, because then college football would be wild and crazy and
we need
amazing.
Alabama to implode. Look, if you're an Alabama fan, sit back and laugh at the rest of us. You should. I got it. But in truth, for all the rest of us, we need Nick to say, okay, I've won too many championships. I'm tired. I want to go strive to be the best water skier on the history of the planet, and just dedicate all your hours to water skiing, because otherwise we are all playing for second on a regular basis, or so it seems. I got you. It would, if that program reverted back to Shula era Bama football.
Yeah.
It would be an interesting time, because it is then wide open between the likes of, you name it, 10, 15 teams?
Right, with Georgia and Clemson being the two teams that are ahead at the moment.
Yeah, but for the moment, yeah. Oklahoma, who's in the playoff every year, it seems like, would be there out of the Big 12.
Ohio State
out of the Big 10, certainly not Michigan. And the Pac-12's wide open right now. Washington lean, but yeah, I mean, still.
Right, it's an interesting year for Washington, right? It's a bridge year because their quarterback is...
Yeah, but Washington's going to be good. I mean, I think Washington should be the class of the Big 12. I mean, the Pac-12.
There are a lot of interesting games. So we're looking
at... That one against Auburn is the most interesting game.
We're looking at picking up a secondary wave of college football games, at least for options for Saturday afternoon.
Pull back that curtain, Tom Lang.
Well, we'll see. I mean...
we've been approached about carrying more games.
That's correct. So we're taking a look at that slate, comparing it to the ESPN slate, and every week, man, I'm telling you, if you put those two together...
I did this exercise last week with you. I went through every week of the season and told you the most interesting game that was on the ledger.
Yes.
It was unbelievable.
Headliner games, indeed, but even second and third tiers because of coaching changes and the balance of power in the Power 5 conferences.
6 new SEC coaches alone. 6.
Right. Yes. So you're talking about, if you just take away Georgia and Alabama, because those two teams are likely going to be playing in Atlanta. It's interesting what's going on at Mississippi State because they like their new head coach, who was
really
studied
good
under Mullen. Right. And then at Tennessee, it's going to be interesting. South Carolina is interesting.
I just want to go on the record. Pruitt ain't going to make it. It's not going to work.
Well, it's interesting at least.
I'm not discounting.
You could
the
be
interest.
confirmed by November.
I'm just telling you, I don't think it's going to work out for them long term. Listen, I ordered some food to go at a fine Mexican dining establishment over the weekend.
That should advertise with us.
It should. And I want to go there as I'm a taco-loving fool. And I was waiting for my food, and a nice gentleman walked up and said, I enjoy your show. And I said, I appreciate you listening to the show. And he said, I'm a huge Tennessee fan, man. Can you give me some hope? And I went, well, I just think that it's going to be a very interesting time these first couple of years. That Pruitt certainly knows his defense, but he's not going to be a boss in front of that mic, I'll tell you that. And moreover, good luck gaining some sort of traction in the SEC East where Georgia is so far and away the best team.
But that's just one conference, and you look out at Washington and what they could be, and Michigan in the Big Ten battling with Ohio State. What's Nebraska going to be? I mean, yeah, they're not threatening anything in terms of a New Year's Six bowl, but Nebraska is now interesting again. You look in the ACC,
Very
obviously with Taggart, that's interesting. Is Miami going to continue on the upswing? Virginia Tech with Fuente. Obviously, Clemson's the big dog. There's a second tier of teams. Unfortunately, we're in that second tier right now, but 25 programs are all interesting for their own reasons, and it has nothing to do with the national championship. So every week when you're looking at these games at the noon slate all the way to the prime time, I mean, you've got reasons to be tuning in. Even Oregon's interesting. They got Cristobal now with Levitt. That should be kind of weird.
I think it's good for college football and necessary for college football that these storylines you're alluding to play out in a way that see more teams have opportunities to feel like they're in the mix for a playoff berth. I think we need more of that in college football. To go back to the original part of what we were talking about with each conference, Jake Browning returns at Washington, so he's a 4-year starter at quarterback. They're going to be really good.
They got a kid who transferred, I forget from what school, who'll be next year, so it looks like they have a plan of succession there.
That's correct. And Myles Gaskin, the running back, is a beast who will be a star in the NFL. They got a veteran-laden offensive line. They're going to be good.
Right.
And they get tested right off the bat against Auburn.
I didn't even mention Oklahoma, obviously, is the big dog in the Big 12, but is Texas actually going to do anything for once? I don't know. A&M with Jimbo, Chip Kelly out at UCLA. They're everywhere, man.
And Greer at West Virginia. Might this be the year that Holgorsen sees West Virginia take a step forward? One of the things, and we can do it next hour, it's kind of fun. This is the time of year as we enter into July, getting close to July. You do start to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together and ask the question, well, as we go into the season, let's just start in the Power 5, for example, which coaches are up against it? Which coaches are on the proverbial hot seat? I understand that that's the kind of thing that people roll their eyes and say off-season topic, but it is indeed a legitimate off-season topic because you're talking about which coaches are entering into the season. We're about to go into the month in which all of these conferences hold their opening media kickoff. These are the kinds of questions that are going to be formulated now. Which coaches in each of these conferences are in trouble and who's in line to perhaps see a raise or get promoted and become that next head coach? And I think you can do that. We'll do it next. We'll do that. We'll go through these conferences and just have a little fun with it because I want to pick your brain. I have an idea of what I think out of the ACC. We'll start right here in our own backyard. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings. or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see your practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
I'm Jeremy Matlow. I love Tallahassee. Tallahassee is my home. I grew up here. I graduated from public schools here. Growing up, it was just my mom, raising my brothers, my sister, and me. I love Tallahassee. That's why I stayed here, to raise my family here, and start Gain Street Pies here. This is a beautiful city with a great community. I love Tallahassee, but something has got to change. I'm running for city commission because we want our government to work for everyone, to bridge our economic divide, strengthen local business, and grow in a way that we're all proud to call home. I'm Jeremy Matlow, and I approve this message.
Political advertisement paid for and approved by Jeremy Matlow, nonpartisan for Tallahassee City Commission, Seat 3.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
And now, Jeff and Eddie wasting time when they're supposed to be recording a commercial.
What were we drinking? It was tall. I just remember there was a lot of it.
And it was cold, and it was
so hot outside. Man. It was crazy.
I couldn't even
breathe.
Truck.
Then the truck came up with the dude.
Oh, that guy.
Food was good. Food was good.
Yeah, the food's always good.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Could you turn that down a little, please? Hello, my name is Jim Smith, and I'm the owner of Poor Paul's here in Tallahassee. First, I want to thank you all for stopping. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm here on the Capitol steps and why I don't have any clothes on.
Because you're a pervert.
Let me explain. This is being recorded for a Poor Paul's radio commercial, and I think if I record it totally nude, people will pay more attention to my message. Business is great at Poor Paul's, but I still have one small problem.
I'll say you do.
My problem is that in spite of having free Gumby's Pizza and $4.95 pitchers every Sunday and Monday night, free beer and free mixed drinks for our lovely ladies every Tuesday night, and other great money-saving specials every other night of the week, some of you are still going to other bars. Bars whose owners would never bare their souls, so to speak, as I am. So I'm simply asking for your business so Poor Paul's can grow.
I see something else that needs to grow.
This isn't working. Hand me that towel, please.
I have a hanky.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. LeBron James has yet to decide if he'll opt out of his $35 million player option with the Cavaliers by Friday's deadline. But if teams are thinking about making elaborate pitches to lure him, don't bother. ESPN's Ramona Shelburne reporting LeBron has no intention of listening to elaborate pitches from teams. He may meet or speak with a club official or owner at some point, but he feels elaborate presentations at this part of his career are unnecessary. Now that Carmelo Anthony has made his decision to stay in OKC, next up for the Thunder, Paul George in Friday's deadline to opt out of the $20 million he's owed in the final year of his contract to become an unrestricted free agent. Oklahoma City feeling fairly confident in its chances to hang on to George, says ESPN Thunder reporter Royce Young.
There's a growing sentiment that the Thunder, you don't want to necessarily say that they're in the lead because there's been no official meetings yet, but what I can say is that the Thunder have made a strong impression on Paul George, and there is some pessimism around other teams that are hoping to have a chance to sign Paul George, that they're going to get that opportunity.
Royce Young on Golic and Wingo. ESPN's Bobby Marks projects that the Thunder's payroll to be close to $150 million with a luxury tax hit of more than $120 million if George were to resign. OKC, though, has positioned itself financially to absorb that penalty. The NBA awards are tonight. The three finalists for MVP, James Harden, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. The NFL today is hearing the 4-game PED suspension of Patriots receiver Julian Edelman. Previously, the Monday morning quarterback reported that the substance Edelman tested positive for was not recognized by the league's drug testers. World Cup, Uruguay beat Russia 3-0. Uruguay won Group A and plays the Group B runner-up. Russia will play the Group B winner.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Be good to one another. I'll just start the hour with that. Always get reminders in between, sometimes segments, hours, days, that is far too infrequent. You can email the show if you like, jcs at 979espnradio.com. You can find me on Twitter at jcameronshow, WTSM app for mobile devices. If you want to watch on YouTube, and hello, YouTubers, go to YouTube and type in ESPN Tallahassee. Did I mention the WTSM app? It's a good one. I'm really fascinated by the way coaches are going to use the new redshirt rule. We talked about this some last week, but I keep thinking about it. You know how cool that's going to be for, like, if you're a 5-star quarterback? Fans always want to get a look at the goods, right? They want to know what you got. And the kid comes in, highly talented, well thought of, but he's behind a sophomore who started every game the year before. There's a good long while before you see that kid. Not anymore. You could see him right off the bat. You could see him play meaningful minutes. Think about it. In Florida State's game against Samford, if we had a 5-star kid that we had just brought in at quarterback and he was being redshirted, and you thought, well, James Blackman's only a sophomore and DeAndre is redshirt sophomore, right? This is going to be, or is he a redshirt junior now? I'm losing it.
DeAndre is a redshirt junior this season.
But still, there would be 2 more years, yeah. So
unless he gets a hardship and,
Right. So you'd be thinking to yourself, I don't know, it'll be a couple of years probably before we see this kid. But you could roll him out there in the second half of a Samford game that's completely one-sided and let him have a quarter of action. Well, have 2 quarters of action. Let him play in a bowl game. Let him play in a game, again, that you don't figure that you have any chance to lose. How about the Northern Illinois game? You get out to a 30-point lead, maybe late in the third quarter. Roll his ass out there and let him play meaningful minutes under the lights in real speed. It's exciting, man. You can incentivize it. You can tell kids, look, here's the deal. Yeah, early on, we don't plan on playing you, but if you do right, if you work hard, eat right, go to class, put on a little bit of weight, man, we'll throw you out there late in the season when we need some depth, get you some meaningful run.
Right, yeah, and it's not a calculation of percentage of snaps anymore.
No, it's 4 games, any 4 games.
Yep.
They can play 4 in their entirety. You can play the bowl game. You can play the rivalry games. You could have a kid. Now, look, I don't think it's going to work out in the trenches. You're not going to throw too many kids out there to the Wolves that are freshman offensive linemen or freshman defensive linemen. But skill positions? Sure, that'd be huge. And, you really could use a tactic. If I got a kid, again, runs a 4.2 40, 4.3 40, speed is speed, man. There might be a package that I have where I utilize that speed on offense. There might be, I just run a kid on a go route against somebody, use them to stretch the field, open other things up. I mean, there will be options. There will be opportunities.
Well, there's times that you could run a special play too on you want to block a punt or something along those lines.
Yeah.
You want to put them in special teams. Yeah. It's just
flea flicker or reverse, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Instead of doing hard calculations and breaking out, the abacus, you can just say, all right, 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, and now we only have 1 more to play with the rest of the season.
Well, I think it really helps late in the year too with depth. And at mid-majors, the so-called mid-majors in basketball, and, obviously they're the group of 5 in college football, you put that's a situation where coaches would tell you you can play scholarship kids instead of walk-ons as backups now. And that's a big deal. You're adding depth, talented depth, not to knock walk-ons. There are some that make it. But in truth,
it's funny. I was just thinking before you brought that up, man, this probably hurts the walk-on a little bit, doesn't it?
A lot. Yeah, because you get a 5-star kid who has ability and you can make him the number 2 or the number 3, especially at those mid-level schools where you're trying to develop some sort of talent and depth. Yeah, the drop-off between the starter and a school like that is pretty significant when you roll a walk-on out there compared to, if you got a 4-star or something like that waiting in the wings.
Right. So for us this year, it's Samford and it's UNI probably are the 2 leading candidates, obviously, where you're going to get your time. Then the bowl game, maybe.
Well, that's 3, and then one other game you would throw
Florida,
in there.
Probably.
Well, if you're recruiting a kid in the state, what a cool thing to be able to say, look, we'll get you in against Florida. We'll get you in against Miami. We'll get you in. You're going to how many snaps? We can't promise you, but
listen, son, there are no guarantees, but if history is any indicator about
you're
this
going to get an opportunity
State
against
rivalry,
Florida. Yeah, you're going to get that chance.
Because it's been something.
Lately, you might get out there for a full half. You just don't know. So I said that, I was looking at each conference and we were talking about the teams in the storylines, how they would be different if Alabama didn't exist. But Alabama does exist, so we'll see. But how wide open certain things would be, and we went through each conference and we were talking about the relative strength and weaknesses of those conferences last hour. And I said right before the end of the hour, well, I always admittedly it's an off-season topic, but I always like trying to find and identify those coaches in the Power 5 that enter the season in a little bit of trouble. And so you could argue that Larry Fedora, who went 3-9 a year ago. Okay, that was in year 7, I believe. Or maybe that was year 6 for him. This will be year 7.
Right.
So 3-9 is that's not what you do 6 years in, but okay. You also had some real successes along the way there that North Carolina's not accustomed to. So we're going to give you a pass on 3-9.
You made it to the ACC title game.
Right.
Yeah, Trubisky, obviously.
You were actually right there with Clemson at the end with the onside kick and everything else.
Got close.
Yeah,
yes,
got close. Now, unfortunately, you and I believe that was the window slamming shut on any significant run Carolina's going to have in the next decade.
Well, if Fuente does what he's supposed to do and Rich does what he's supposed to do, absolutely, that's true.
So we'll see what they do this year. He wouldn't be number 1 on my list. I think Narduzzi would and Babers after that. And I know they love Babers at Syracuse. Should mention, Syracuse is 4-8 back-to-back years.
Coming after Dino.
4-8 back-to-back years. People are under this misconception that he's done something there that is worthy of celebrating. They've had some upsets. They've had a couple of significant upsets where people, including the Clemson game, and he's a likable dude, and they score a lot of points. 4-8, man. Back-to-back years.
Well, do they get Dungy back for the 7th year this year? Okay. Well, this is could be an important year. I think Petrino would be an interesting candidate. May I submit Bobby Petrino? Didn't do anything with Lamar Jackson compared to what you thought might be a couple of years ago when they blew us out at home. And really, since then they lost 8-9 games with Lamar Jackson at quarterback.
The argument is this. They've got so many other problems they're dealing with as an athletic department. He's not coming up. He could have another bad year. And they didn't have a bad year. They just weren't great. They underachieved with a transcendent quarterback college-wise. But given his goodwill at Louisville and given the problems with the basketball program, you got a new AD, all of that. I don't think so. I don't think they're in the process of now trying to go out and lure somebody to Louisville.
Perhaps the athletic department isn't looking at that, but they're expanding their stadium and they're not winning commensurate with the expansion.
No, the fans may wholeheartedly agree with you. I don't think, though, that in reality he's in any danger. I think that you would go with Dino Babers, Narduzzi at Pitt. I brought up Larry Fedora. I know he just got a raise, but if NC State goes 6-6 or something, I mean, would people start to look at Dave Dorn again and go, "Come on, man"?
Is Cutcliffe safe? Is Paul Johnson safe?
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do with Paul Johnson, man? Every time they have had a losing season 2 of the last 3 years. But when they win big for whatever reason. They do something that they shouldn't do. It's usually when they get a guy in there that can run the system.
Well, the guy regressed, whatever his name is. I knew his name a couple of years ago, and it didn't matter anymore.
Well, I would hope he's not safe. He would be on my top 5 list of people to take a good look at. Cutcliffe? Nah, you're not running Cutcliffe out of there. Although I would say, I'm trying to think, Duke didn't go bowling last year. They went bowling the year before, but not the year before that. So is it 2 of the last 3 years they have not gone bowling? Yeah, no, Duke.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Well.
And he blew that Florida State game for no reason. Should have beat us.
Well, they weren't very good.
Called a trick play when they're dominating the game.
Teams love to run some damn trick plays, don't they?
God, David Cutcliffe.
Safest coach in the league is Dabo Swinney. Next safest, Justin Fuente. Next safest, Mark Richt. Next safest, Willie Taggart.
I wouldn't even enter him into the equation because he's got minimum 3 years, right?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You put, you know what I mean? Where's Bronco Mendenhall?
They're not mad at him yet. They can't possibly be. This is year 3 coming up, or is it year 4?
No. This is
that'd be year 4.
No, Bronco. This is year 3, right?
No, it's 3.
Yeah. No, Bronco's okay. Have a bad year this year, though.
Not getting fired this year.
No. Getting set to be on the hot seat is a better way of saying. Where are we going with this, right? Well, because for that, when you use that standard, you can have fun with this. If we say you're not on the hot seat, but you're about to be, or this season would lead you to be, well, then who would we look at in the Big Ten? Well, right off the bat, you would probably start to look at. Lovie Smith would be number 1, I would think, at Illinois. I would think if we're talking about entering into a hot seat phase,
Jim Harbaugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like your finger is hovering over the seat warmer button in your fully loaded Nissan Pathfinder.
I'm going, ooh, I may need to click that. I'm really unsatisfied.
Let me warm up the Pathfinder
I'm a little upset with what's going on here. You know, I would also tell you that nobody remembers this, but Rutgers is in the Big Ten. And even though you can't name his coach, and I had to look it up during the break, Chris Ash is 6-18 at Rutgers. I mean, can we put him on the list? I mean,
Ash, sorry.
My man is Chris Ash up there sucking at Rutgers, which is probably wondering, boy, I don't know, this Big Ten stuff, I'm glad we were able to take the money, but we're just not very competitive. Tom Allen at Indiana. You forget about how some of these teams in the Big Ten, you're like, ooh.
Oh, yeah. It's rough. Illinois,
That's
Indiana.
The Pam Ward, Illinois, the Pam Ward, Illinois, Rutgers matchup this Saturday at noon.
Right after game day. That's the one that's on the game day channel.
You're like, that's when you walk by and you go, oh, Illinois and Indiana, huh?
It used to be the Pam Ward, Joey Galloway team, and somehow Joey kept getting promoted. Not sure how.
Oh, I see we've got the old Maryland-Rutgers matchup today at noon. Click. Surely there's a good MEAC game on. I'm just telling you, you're not looking anywhere at that game. That's
100% accurate.
Yes.
If FAM is on TV and it's Rutgers versus Maryland, it's FAM all day.
I rank FAM way up there anyhow, but I'm saying like any MEAC game compared to Maryland-Rutgers.
A&T versus Bethune.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Over Maryland-Rutgers? Yes. Over Illinois-Indiana? Woo! Oh. Any league. Oh. NAIA is on, Tom. Let's flip it around.
I need the puke bucket.
I mean, that's just not because of where we're located and because of our allegiances. I admit this is from that lens. But the Big Ten has a way of matching up certain teams on at noon on a Saturday that leave you bereft of hope for anything, humanity, where you kind of go, I can't do this. I'm not watching. I'm just trying to think. Like Iowa versus Maryland. Or Rutgers, you'd go, I'm not.
Well, Indiana and Illinois are two
damn it.
That's when they cut to the stadium and you go, what quality of life is it for these people there? They look trapped.
Pam Ward's welcome to the big game, Northwestern and Illinois. Kicking it off here today.
11 a.m. local time.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I know.
No wonder they're all rotund. They eat to cope.
It's cold. They're pissed off. The football is just... Damn it, man. I can't. No.
The Iowa caucus can't get here soon enough.
Big 12. They have some matchups, too. I looked it up over the weekend, and I actually got a call from Red Raider football.
Really?
Yeah.
Texas Tech called you?
A diehard Red Raider fan called me and said...
You took a call?
Yeah, I took a call.
Oh, my God. How did that feel?
It felt good because I took a few, but I took this one from a Red Raider fan because I said Cliff Kingsbury has to be number one on the list out of the Big 12. He's 30-33. We talk about him like he wins games. He doesn't.
Right.
They don't do a damn thing. They're terrible.
He won a war of words against Bielema, and he's a good-looking dude. Those are his two biggest accomplishments.
He is 30-33. It's not a matter of debate. He's 30-33. So what are we doing here? At some point, you got to win some damn games.
Gundy's got to be on that list too, doesn't he?
Why?
Because his athletic director called him out for being sorry in the recruiting world.
He just got a raise, though. They're good. They're not going anywhere.
Why? But if your athletic director is calling you out,
that athletic director will get fired before Mike Gundy does. Mike Gundy played there, man.
I understand
he's
played
a
there.
hero, and he's winning games. They just won 10 games.
His AD says he's not doing enough.
Well, that AD could die in a fiery car crash if I'm an Oklahoma State fan, because you got to be kidding me. What do they expect at Oklahoma State?
More, apparently. I'm not looking at the resume and saying it is such that. I'm saying I'm looking at the hierarchy and what their comments are about Mike, and I'm saying, well, that's an interesting situation. Perhaps it's toxic.
Gundy is thought of every year for a job that's better than Oklahoma State's.
That's correct.
And why is that? Because he's a good coach. So, to me, he'll win that war of words. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not – I would tell that.
I'm not doing it for resume's sake. Again, it's just it looks like the –
He should think about leaving.
He should. He should have taken the Tennessee job. Why not? You could always go back to Oklahoma State. What are they going to do without you?
I would stay at Oklahoma State before going to Tennessee, given his circumstance, given that he played there and he's got it rolling there. And I would have waited.
He can always go back to the Cowboys.
George is really good, Tom. Not going to Tennessee right now. Things are looking really good at Georgia. I think I'll wait for something else. He was interested in the Tennessee job, but then he pulled his name and said Cowboy for life or some such nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But I would take a job if I were him.
USC.
Good call.
There it is.
Could he get the USC job? The slappy they got out there at USC, it's kind of crazy what they're doing.
Hot seat, there you go.
Well, that is a hot seat, but I would also say they're waiting on bringing your boy Kiffin back. Here's what we need.
Yeah.
Here's what we need.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You can see me right. The writing's on the wall here, buddy. You need Kiffin to take that Southern Cal job because I don't want him going to Florida when they fire Dan Mullen in 3 years. So let's just keep it rolling at Florida Atlantic there, Lane. Take that Southern Cal job maybe after this year, maybe the year after. That's all we need right there.
Boy, that sounds nice.
Take it out to California, baby. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings. or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast, brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, checking in to see how your summer is starting out. At Kraft Nissan, the deals are already hot with available 0% interest for 60 months on every new Nissan we sell. And all 2018 Frontier pickups have a $1,500 rebate plus 0% interest for 60 months. All 2018 Rogues are $4,000 off MSRP with prices starting at just $21,965. Note, I said all Rogues, not some, are $4,000 off. 2018 Versa S's start at an unbelievable $12,960 for a new car. But the true star of summer is the 2018 Altima. All Altimas, and we have over 60 to choose from, are $6,000 off MSRP. That's right, all 2018 Altimas are $6,000 off with prices starting at just $18,970. And as always, all Kraft Nissans come with our exclusive free lifetime warranty. So before you head off on your summer vacation, head to Kraft Nissan for unbeatable prices. Prices include dealer preparation charge, must finance through NMAC with approved credit, and take delivery from dealer stock.
Commercial lawnmowers don't have odometers, but if they did, you might be surprised to see you could be mowing thousands of miles a year. That's why Gravely zero-turn mowers are built for the long haul. So when you're mowing the equivalent of Miami through Kentucky bluegrass country, all the way to Seattle, and back again every year, you can count on your Gravely zero-turn mower to get the job done, mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Over 150 new zero turns in stock. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view inventory and pricing. In Thomasville, Georgia.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag Sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and Red Tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
Up to $7,900 in cash back savings. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view selection.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
In Thomasville, Georgia.
And now Jeff and Eddie waste my time instead of recording a commercial.
I know we got to record this one, but remember that time with the thing and the guy?
Oh, and then we did that.
It was by the pool. It was by the pool.
And then
that guy jumped. The one guy
with the Speedo.
That was ridiculous.
Man, what a day! And then the guy
he came up with the food.
The truck.
He didn't even know.
Had
no idea.
And how about those girls?
If we could only recreate that, ridiculous. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
It's time to get your chop on as our Atlanta Braves continue to roll through the big NL East battles and into the summer.
The 3-2 pitch, here it comes, and there it goes. It's fair, it's long, it's in the chop house.
Atlanta Braves baseball on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you in part by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey, and by Metro Deli in downtown Tallahassee. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com/Braves. You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I'm going to start with the Pac-12 and tell you that Herm Edwards is on the hot seat. Year one. Clown hire. No chance in hell that works.
What do we do with all these pitchforks?
Year one, you get one shot. They're going to suck, and he's terrible. Fired. This is a nightmare. I'm going hot seat. You're on it now as you enter.
If the devil's in, you're living in sin.
MyPillow.com. Click on the 2-pack special. Do it right now. I'm telling you, it's a very, very comfortable pillow. I wouldn't promote it otherwise. Don't believe me? Try it. If you don't like it, you can return it. It's got a 60-day money-back guarantee, and I'm going to get you more than one pillow. More bang for your buck is what I'm going to do. Go to MyPillow.com. Click on the 2-pack special. Enter the promo code 979ESPN. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price plus free shipping. Free's good. Go to MyPillow.com. 2-pack special. Promo code 979ESPN.
Was that in the copy to yell free like that?
No, I did it in the voice. If there was a wrestling game, I think it was by Konami maybe, but it was called Tag Team Wrestling back in the day with the little guys, not the big ones, not the WWE characters, the little guys, and there was one with a mask. It was one of my favorite games of all time, but when you counted out the guy, it was 1, 2, 3. And so that anyhow, and I loved that game. It was my favorite video game of all time. That's a 1980s Aladdin's Castle, playing that video game for hours on end. There was a fat guy that would come in and he was like, "Arr," and then the other guy had the mask on. It was awesome. So
the Aladdin's Castle when I was growing up was
heaven on earth for me.
Yes, but it was reclassified by the time I was growing up because
it became something different.
Well, it would charge you an extra 25 cents to 50 cents per game if you went to any other arcade. Yep.
Not what you do.
A little too big for their britches.
Yep. MyPillow.com. Click on the promo code 979ESPN. Call 800-944-6596 if you'd like. Be sure to use the promo code 979ESPN. 10-year warranty, machine washable and dryable, made in the USA, 60-day money-back guarantee, and me telling you, I sleep on it every night, and I love it. There you go.
Who charges $1.25 for a game too?
It's not what you do.
It's either $1 or $50.
Out by Treasure Island on St. Pete Beach, there was a all-you-could-play video game place. I'm forgetting the name of it now, but you could go down towards the beach park, go in. It was one price for the whole evening, like $5, and you played every game in there for as long as you wanted, as many times as you wanted. So you could go in there and clear games. And listen, we're honest on this show. We're open about things. When I got a little older, we were a little bit more delinquent. We went there. Somebody would be in charge of driving us out there, and we would have some beers.
Right, yeah.
And then we would go in there and play all-you-could-play video games for hours on end.
Buddy, it's the best.
Heaven.
I just did this a couple months ago when I was in Dallas. There's a bar called Kung Fu out there.
That's got to be good.
It's awesome.
Used to love the game Kung Fu on my Commodore 64.
Oh, Kung Fu was
an
awesome.
Karateka was another good one.
Kung Fu was on Nintendo as well. It was a great game. Yeah. But on Sundays, it's got Mimosa Bloody Mary specials.
Oh, what are we doing here?
Appetizer specials. And
forget about it.
Everything except the NBA-sized Pop-A-Shot, everything except that is free. And they've got probably 20, 25 games. I mean, you could get lost in there for hours.
The old place I'm talking about on St. Pete Beach, before you went over the bridge, there was, I think, probably upwards of 30, 40 games. It was crazy. They had that wall scaling game that I used to like, where you were the guy trying to go up the side of a skyscraper, and people would throw plants at you, and they'd throw all kinds. Like the old ladies would lift open the window, and they'd throw a plant. Like, get away from me! And you have to move out of the way and try to get. And if you could get to the top, I mean, it was hard to get to the top, but then you did, and then the next skyscraper was even taller.
That sounds kind of like Paperboy. Like the same kind of concept. Yeah.
I didn't like Paperboy because when you use the Paperboy thing, you had to turn the wheel. I'm always oversteering. Yeah, I oversteer.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
That I take advantage of their grants and loans to get more insulation in my attic. That's really going to keep my cooling costs down.
These are some great suggestions. There are lots of ways to save. Caller, you're on the air.
I reduce energy for water heating by lowering my water heater temperature and installing low-flow shower heads.
We have time for one more caller. What do you have for us?
I make sure to use my programmable thermostat to regulate the temperature in my home when I'm away.
Thank you, caller. That's all the time we have today.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities would like to help you save as much energy as you can and save money while you're at it. Visit talgov.com for more information and start saving energy today.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop for tripping out to truck. Truck and Car Concepts, people with their cars, we're number one by far. Bed liners, bed caps, toys to throw your money at. Car stereos, car alarms, things for all you soccer moms. Detail and diamond plate, parts to fix your tailgate. Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop for tripping out your truck. Truck and Car Concepts, people with their cars, we're number one by far. Exterior accessories, lift kits for your mud needs. Mud tires, nice wheels, everyone will get a deal. Window tinting, that's a must. Come on out and visit us. Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop, we always aim to please. Truck and Car Concepts, everything is here from A to Z.
Here, do you need headsets?
I don't need no stinking headsets.
Well, then go. Come on, man.
All right. Hi there, Tallahassee. You know me. This is Eddie. You know, I have other restaurants in this town, Gordo's, Banditos. Well, I opened up something new. It's called Bumpa's Local 349. You may ask, what is Bumpa's Local 349? It was named after my grandfather, Bumpa. It's what we called him. Best man I ever knew. And the Local 349 was his union. And I try to bring this local flavor, this local flair of Tallahassee. I want to bring it to you, locally owned and operated. Warm, good food.
Good Lord, man, we're getting all weepy up in here. It's a cool sports pub. It's got TVs everywhere. You got every package. You got a gazillion kinds of beers and delicious food and a deck. We don't need to weep up in here. Come on, Eddie.
And we have 16 local Florida taps. Great craft beer just for you. And the best bologna sandwich you'll ever eat. It's like you just won the lotto. As Bumpa said, no matter how you cut it, it's still bologna.
Bumpa's Local 349, 2738 Capitol Circle Northeast.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. LeBron James has yet to decide if he'll opt out of his $35 million player option with the Cavaliers by Friday's deadline. But if teams are thinking about making elaborate pitches to lure him, don't bother. ESPN's Ramona Shelburne reporting LeBron has no intention of listening to elaborate pitches from teams. He may meet or speak with a club official or owner at some point, but he feels elaborate presentations at this part of his career are unnecessary. Now that Carmelo Anthony has made his decision to stay in OKC, next up for the Thunder, Paul George in Friday's deadline to opt out of the $20 million he's owed in the final year of his contract to become an unrestricted free agent. Oklahoma City feeling fairly confident in its chances to hang on to George, says ESPN Thunder reporter Royce Young.
There's a growing sentiment that the Thunder, you don't want to necessarily say that they're in the lead because there's been no official meetings yet, but what I can say is that the Thunder have made a strong impression on Paul George, and there is some pessimism around other teams that are hoping to have a chance to sign Paul George, that they're going to get that opportunity.
For Young on Golic and Wingo, ESPN's Bobby Marks projects that the Thunder's payroll to be close to $150 million, with a luxury tax hit of more than $120 million if George were to resign. OKC, though, has positioned itself financially to absorb that penalty. The NBA awards are tonight. The three finalists for MVP, James Harden, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. The NFL today is hearing the 4-game PED suspension of Patriots receiver Julian Edelman. Previously, the Monday morning quarterback reported that the substance Edelman tested positive for was not recognized by the league's drug testers. World Cup, Uruguay beat Russia 3-0. Uruguay won Group A and plays the Group B runner-up. Russia will play the Group B winner.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. I should probably, I want to do this. Why don't you cue it up, and we'll do a little bit of the vision check with our friend Jose Fernandez. Fire it up.
Open your eyes.
My glasses! I can't see without my glasses!
My glasses! I can't be seen without my glasses!
That is absolutely horrendous!
I don't believe this call is accurate.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
Man, I can see!
It's time for the vision check.
Brought to you by our friends at the Law Office of Jose Fernandez. They don't get paid until you do. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez, offices Miami, Tallahassee, just so you know. All right, so vision check, where to go? Why don't we go with Bob's email? Fair enough, I like this. It's pretty straightforward, and we can comment on it. You watch, as soon as we do, something will happen today, and we'll break, and we'll have to kind of go back over this again, I suppose, but we'll see. Subject, screw public relations, time for honesty. Hey, Jeff, make this a headlines question if you like. Nope, not going to, Bob. I'm making it a Jeff Cameron Show question. I have abandoned Facebook forever. Okay, good on you, Bob. I understand. I think those of us who love Jameis should take a hard look at him now. We've not heard enough from Jameis about the things he's accused of. I never thought lawyering up and engaging in behind-the-scenes settlements after the FSU assault accusations wise, principle or practically. Responsible people can disagree about that, though. Now, his reputation has taken a permanent hit, maybe in the dumpster. I think the cautious public relations approach is now a clear disaster for him. Jameis should speak candidly and fully to the public about this whole debacle, including admitting to lies if he's made them, as well as accusation towards others if they've lied or acted criminally. Take questions from reporters until they have no more to ask. The number of games he might be suspended be damned. His career and future is on the line now. Do you agree it is time for some honest words directly from his mouth, however the truth about his Uber case may make him look? And screw your JCS PR firm too, Jeff. The last thing we need is more effective posturing and deflecting from the truth. Just tell the blanking truth. Best wishes, Bob. Yeah. Well, Bob, I appreciate the email, and I appreciate you listening to the program. I guess let's get to the question. Do I agree that it's time for some honest words directly from his mouth, no matter how it makes him look, regarding the Uber case? Sure. I think to some degree I'll side with you there, Bob, but I think he has to wait until he's officially suspended by the league for this said offense or accusation. Short of that, he's answering to nothing, given that there is no police report, there was no sworn affidavit, there was no investigation by authorities of any kind. So this would amount to just, and again, I'm not discounting the accusation, and I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty, either way. What I would say is that it's not incumbent upon people to respond to accusations that they already have categorically denied. which is what he did, until there is a reason to respond to them. And in this case, the reason would be a suspension, meaning that he would have to then answer for why it was the league suspended him. Court case, no court case, charges, no charges, criminal investigation, no criminal investigation. He would have to answer as to what the NFL found and his thoughts on being suspended stemming from this incident. But he already made a statement about this incident 2 years ago when it happened. Or, well, it's not 2 years ago. The alleged incident occurred nearly 2 years ago, 20 months ago, whatever.
Yeah, November was when he had to answer for it.
He answered for it in November. He doesn't have to say anything more until something new arises. There are a lot of layers to this. It's certainly not a good look. It's the aforementioned public relations aspect, it is a nightmare. Because this happened so long ago, and because he came into the league with questions about his character, questions about who he was, the person that he was, there were already a group of fans, a large contingent of people around the league, and certainly in Tampa, that didn't think much of Jameis. This won't do anything to help that. Even those who defended him fervently would admit that this isn't very good. This isn't a good look. It is, at some point, a question of, in the minds of many, of where there's smoke, there must be some form of fire. Something's going on. And even, again, if you think, well, he's also probably a guy that has a target on his back, given his reputation, and maybe seen as an easy mark to get a settlement of some kind or a check written. No matter where you are in all of this and what you think, I do have a real hard time with the league's policy. And I do know that it's, to me, potentially a dangerous policy moving forward with suspensions where there are no sworn affidavits or charges or criminal investigations. That's a different issue, isn't it? So I'm, like you, very interested to hear what Jameis has to say when this is all said and done. But I don't think it would be wise for him to come out and sit down and do a, as you were describing here, all-encompassing Q&A before the league announces a suspension. I don't know who that would serve. I don't think that would do him any good, really, and I don't think it would do the organization any good. I think he would probably be best suited to sit back and wait until the league announces its suspension, at which point he will have to probably comment.
I think the hard part here is you just got to wait and see, from my perspective, personally, the way I'm consuming this. You and I have had unique perspectives. You more inside than I in when push comes to shove in 2014 and certainly recently. But I get to hear what you're hearing. And in 14 with the Kinsman case, or there wasn't a case really.
There was no case. No.
That one was open and shut in that one person's story remained the same throughout. Another's was revised over and over and rebutted by facts over and over. So it's easy in that moment to say, who do I believe more? Well, I believe the person whose story has held up over time and has remained consistent. I can't believe the person whose story has changed only to see science and witness testimony tell me that that's not true at all. In this case, whatever the NFL has found, my interest was piqued. And for the first time in this particular case, I thought, well, okay, there's a little bit of doubt in my mind. When Garofalo from NFL Network stated that the Uber trip that Jameis was allegedly on, like the key one, had multiple stops and perhaps people got in and out of the car, I thought, well, okay, this is not something that jives with a categorical denial from Jameis in response to the BuzzFeed story. So what does the NFL have exactly? Because he works for NFL Network, he has sources in the league office where when the NFL releases whatever punishment for Jameis Winston that they're going to, what facts do they have? They're going to release the reason, the evidence that led to the sentence.
One would think they would. I don't know.
Most everybody who's covered this has said that the NFL is going to release their findings. They're going to give you the whys of how they arrived to their conclusion. If that's the case, I'm in a position now where in the beginning, I thought, I don't think there's anything here. I think this is just a Zeke Elliott situation. But if the NFL's evidence suggests that what the driver said was true, that Jameis was the only one in the car, and not what Jameis said was true, which was to categorically deny anything happened in the first place, that there were a different amount of people in the car and he was sitting in a different place in the car, and his story is not consistent with what the facts are, then I've got to do the exact same thing I did to the Kinsman situation and say, well, he's wrong from the word go. So I'm very interested to see where the NFL's findings go. Maybe they find nothing. Maybe their findings are a bunch of hearsay that doesn't shift me one way or the other.
And that's what I was about to say, because if it is a bunch of hearsay, you know how I feel. I've told you I'm very uncomfortable in general punishing people without physical evidence because of the issues that flow from that sort of mindset. That is a problem. I hate the way the league does business. I think it's dangerous. So they better have something concrete, and they better tell us what it is.
But the issue here, it would seem so simple because it's Uber. And if it's Uber,
it shouldn't take 2 years to figure out who was in the car, who wasn't, how many stops they made, how many stops they didn't, and all of that.
Agreed. November was when they started on it, so now you're talking, I mean, even still, 7 months is ridiculous. I agree. But a driver account is tied to a customer account. This is something that they can see tangibly. And so if whatever the storyline was Friday.
But what they can't see, if I pay for Uber for you, me, and Matthew to go anywhere, then it would show that I paid for Uber, you, me, and Matthew. But your names won't come up.
Agreed. But one thing it will do is if you paid attention to the storyline on Friday that came out where there's the Vanderbilt player who was convicted of gang rape and his lawyer came to the forefront saying.
Bizarre part of this story, by the way.
That the three of them were riding in an Uber to the event, which was separate from the Uber he took from the event. Well, I got to know what time this driver was driving with Jameis. That first of all, that's going to help. And secondly, there's got to be another witness or two that were at this establishment.
Yes, there's a lot we don't know, and I'm uncomfortable talking about it extensively until we know more facts. As of what we know right now, it's left me wondering, just like you, what's real and what's not. And until we get concrete information, I'm just not going to comment on it anymore because, honestly, it's dangerous. You know, we are paid for opinions, and I give them every day. And sometimes I lament the fact that you find out something new an hour after you get off the air. You find out something new a week after you've made a stand on an issue. And it's difficult because in the moment, people don't want to hear you waffling about the issue at hand, whether that's something as trivial as whether or not we should have gone for it on 4th down or whether it's this case. But I have learned that in issues like this, where a reputation is on the line, a career potentially is on the line, a suspension in this case is on the line, all of these things, it's best to wait to find out exactly what they have, don't have, what's real, what's not real. I sure as hell am not going to believe some dude in jail for 15 years convicted of a gang rape.
His lawyer, not even him.
I'm not going to believe anything he has to say, and I don't even know what that's about. That's bizarre. That's all news to us. I don't know what's real and what isn't. What does he get from doing that? Is that...
For me, on the heels of the Garofalo thing, that's where I'm saying, okay.
Yeah, you're waiting to find out if Jameis's categorical denial holds water or not.
Right.
Right.
Because then that changes whether or not I can...
But that's all we can say. That's all we can say. And I'm with you on that, Tom. I think it will be an interesting piece of, for lack of a better term, evidence. Once again, it's not really evidence because it's not a court case. It's not a criminal charge. There hasn't even been a police proceeding of any kind. They haven't investigated anything because there's nothing to investigate because she never called the cops, never filed charges, never signed a sworn affidavit. That makes all of this very difficult. Doesn't mean she's not telling the truth, just like it doesn't mean that he's not telling the truth. I just don't know. I don't know. I know they're bracing for a suspension. And I know this, again, brings up a lot of questions about the way the NFL does business. But these can all be separate things.
Indeed.
And that's the hard part. Yeah, they're all separate things. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cashback and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Holiday Rush, Whitten Glass will take care of you this summer to your complete satisfaction. They've been helping to design and install bath and shower enclosures for Tallahassee homeowners for over 70 years. When you call Whitten Glass, you're dealing with real glass people, experienced, reliable professionals. Whitten's top-of-the-line bath and shower enclosures provide style and luxury at an affordable price. With the holidays coming, that means family, and that means now is the time to shower up with style.
Call today. Whitten Glass, the real glass people. 222-5781 or online at whittenglass.com. WHIDDON. Whitten, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. 222-5781.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sad story out of St. Petersburg, Florida. My old stomping grounds, Pinellas County. Former defensive end and former Tampa Bay Buccaneer and University of Alabama star when he was at Alabama, anyhow, Keith McCants. He's only 50 years old, was arrested early Monday in St. Pete, charged with felony count of possession of crack cocaine, driving with a revoked or suspended license, bonded out in jail. Here's the deal. If you don't know that story, those of us who grew up down there certainly do. McCants made he was an All-American at Alabama. He was selected 4th overall by Tampa Bay in the 1990 NFL Draft. Tom, you were 4, so you don't recall this. I know you know the story. His career ended just 5 years later. He also played for the Oilers, Cardinals, never did achieve anything of any note. Was simply terrible. And I hate this because this is now, I think I read, the 9th time he's been arrested since 2010.
Since 2010? Oh,
yeah,
my.
Yeah. He faces a July 10th court date, but he's you got to know that 10. Think about that many arrests in his situation. The weight of the world, and listen, I know, boohoo, right? Get your life together. But I feel bad, certainly, for those that are addicted and are struggling to get off of any sort of substance abuse. But there have been so many articles about McCants over the years. He was kind of a controversial pick in that stubby arms for a defensive end. A lot of people thought he was either going to be a superstar or a complete bust, and unfortunately, he ended up being a complete bust. And of course, that's who the Bucs took, because that's what the Bucs often do, especially back in those days when it was frequent that we made the absurd pick of the draft. But man, he tried to go back to Alabama. He tried a lot of different things, and all he was ever remembered as was a bust. And I don't know. I think certain guys are just wired a certain way. And I'm not talking about addiction. That, too, I know. But I think if you have the expectation that you're going to be a star and at any point you tasted that kind of success like he did as an All-American at a place like Alabama, and you don't live up to that, it's not enough for guys to be able to take the money they got from being drafted that highly and say, well, didn't work out. Gonna take it to the beach. It's all right. I'm a multimillionaire.
Nope.
And maybe that's what makes them great. Maybe thinking along the lines of never entertaining the idea that they couldn't succeed or that they wouldn't be a huge success is what allowed them to get to that point to begin with. And maybe I'm too comfortable with failure, because I got to tell you, Tom, if I got selected in the top 5 and I became a multimillionaire, and it became apparent within year 1 or 2 that I wasn't going to be good enough to make the jump from being a great college player to a great pro player, it really wouldn't break my heart. Not getting hit on a daily basis doesn't suck. Not, not having to deal with the heat in Florida, practice on a daily basis doesn't suck. Walking out from my beach house and surveying the landscape, which is the ocean and women in bikinis, doesn't suck. That's what I would do.
Probably, yeah. I would run the numbers, right? Wouldn't you make your calculations on how much you want to spend in a year, how much you want to have in property?
Yeah. Well, and once it takes money to make money a lot of times, and once you have some, if you got people you trust and.
Well, I mean, even if it was just in bonds or something stupid, right? I mean, with what you would
live
get.
off the interest for the rest of your life, my friend.
That's what I'm saying. So once you get to that number, now I don't know how much that is if you want to live a posh lifestyle the rest of the go.
Yeah, a lot more now than then, but yeah.
$6-7 million, something like that is probably what you need to make in order to have multiple properties and all that. So yes, up until that point, that might be contract number 2. So what I'm positing is perhaps you'd maybe work hard until contract number 2.
Maybe, ideally, if you could, but if you're as big a bust as he was, you ain't getting contract number 2. You might get a third of what you thought you might get.
You could jump on as a position coach back at the old Alabama.
Well, and again, I think, yes, if you have a passion. Now, what I don't know and I don't recall was whether or not McCants had substance abuse issues while in the league, and that seriously alters the talking points here.
He was in Tampa.
And for a long time, I'm telling you, that was the reputation. It was like, if you were a player and you went to Tampa, buckle up. It's just the land. It's the den of iniquity, as I'm fond of saying. And it turned out to be true for so many guys. It was brutal how many guys that either had spring training down at Al Lang or for baseball or in any way were associated with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, just guy after guy struggled.
I mean, I know this exists everywhere, but when I was playing back in my flag football team, that was for it was a business league, and I was playing as a senior in high school. It was one of the ladies for one of the MLB players who was just, what her job was? To be a lady of an MLB player.
Oh, right.
She was set up in Tampa, and she would go to Lakeland in the because she was a Tigers guys, whatever. Yeah. So that was it. She got sent a check every month just to be that, and she was playing flag football with us in her spare time. Very interesting.
Yeah, for McCants, that story, there's no way around it. It's tragic. His career was over by 1995, and he had in 3 seasons a sack and a half.
Well, that about settles that.
Yeah, it's really difficult to and what I hate for him is that if you go back and read all the stories and one of the things, his most recent arrest, he said, learn from me about addiction. Clearly he is unable to break the ties at this point. And, but one thing I would say, I'm no police officer, and they may disagree with me. We really got to find a way not to be wrangling guys in for suspended licenses. It's just a vicious cycle. They can't afford to pay the fine for driving on a suspended license. Then they don't pay the fine, and you driving down the road, you get arrested again, and you can't have a job if you can't get there. And all these, you know what I mean?
The only issue is insurance if they get in a wreck. Now what happens?
Well, right. And listen, if he's committing a crime, he's got to be arrested. I'm just saying, it seems like you read that a lot.
Well, he wasn't selling water on the street.
Well played, working that reference in on the show on a Monday. That's even better.
Well, it should have been lemonade, I guess.
Egregious.
In suburbia.
Yeah, damn it. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
For the Braves, Tyler Mahle for the Reds. Hear the call of the Braves and the Reds live from SunTrust Park right here on the Braves Radio Network. First pitch is set for 7:35 p.m. Eastern. With the Braves, I'm Kevin McAlpin for the Atlanta Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. Hope you are well. Hope you had a great weekend as well. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Thanks for listening to it, by the way. WTSM app, good for mobile devices. Online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go. I should say ESPNTallahassee.com to listen online via the streaming, but I should say on YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. There you go. We'll get there eventually. Got a little discombobulated. Real short break because I prattled on too long in the previous segment, so that's what happened there. And I was whisked back into the studio as others all around the building were running. Jeff, get back in the studio. Tom is yelling. You do not have the length of break that you thought you had. Go. Come on. So that's why I'm a little discombobulated.
Poor David Wright. He's taking cuts in the batting cage right now.
Is that correct?
He's taking batting practice.
No. Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Oh.
He is Tantalus. That poor guy.
That is a toughie, my friend. Really?
SNY has video of him taking batting practice.
Like in the hopes to come back?
Yes. He's trying. He's trying his damnedest.
No, Tom. This is very much like the Gruden situation. You remember that? That's that situation that where we watched Hard Knocks and went, oh no.
Yeah.
And he stared dreamily at Jameis and just was,
It wasn't dreamily, might be kind. Might be a little bit more nefarious. Yeah.
It was awful.
I think lustful.
Yeah, it was frightening. I remember thinking, no, don't do that. Guys.
Jameis, I haven't looked at my wife like this in years.
Stop. No, you don't have to add on to it. Don't do that. Where's my sheet, man?
Remember the bit about John's wife has passed?
Yeah.
I'm right here.
I'm right here. When my wife passed. No, she's right. I'm right here.
No, I miss her. I miss my wife.
John, I'm right here.
She's my anchor.
You guys know about the situation, the small town there, East Point, Florida, in Franklin County. It was devastated by a fire. Dozens of homes have been just absolutely burned to the ground by the widespread fire, and 200-plus people displaced now. Here's the deal. I tell you that not to depress you, but to let you know how you can help. And this is a community of helpers. I've always known that. It's one of the reasons that I celebrate this community and happy that I live here, am happy that I live here. If you want to help local victims and you want to donate, you can access the GoFundMe page. Go to GoFundMe.com and search East Point Fire Victim Relief Fund. So, again, to donate to those that were affected in East Point, go to GoFundMe.com Search East Point Fire Victim Relief Fund. Also, if you wanted to donate or drop off items, that's important because not everybody wants to donate to the GoFundMe page. I got you. You could do that at the East Point Firehouse. So we'll start the hour and end the hour that way for people that are coming along here to understand it's worthwhile cause.
Once again, that is a GoFundMe page that was started by the Franklin County Sheriff's Office and is run by the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. It is not a privately run GoFundMe page. It is run by the Sheriff's Office. So it's as official as it gets. Even the governor retweeted that link. So if you're wondering about where your money is going, that's not some shady source.
If you're suspicious, we're not doling out.
Should be some evil people in the world, man.
Just a few. 21 new coaching jobs, coaching changes this offseason. And I guess you would go beyond that and note that 13 coaches had their names or resumes attached to the Tennessee opening alone. Mike Leach, Mike Gundy, Dave Doran, amongst others. And I bring that up because of an article I read regarding how do you walk it back? Coaches that flirt with these other offers. And I think the answer to that question, I wanted to get to this last hour, wanted to mention it time and again, still haven't. It really does depend an awful lot on how brutally honest you are. One of the coaches that was actually said to be flirting for another job had only been at his respective institution for 1 year, and that was Matt Rule. He interviewed with the Indianapolis Colts in January, and it surprised a lot of people because he had only been at Baylor for a year. But it's Baylor, man. And I think if you're at Baylor, you should always be looking for another job.
Well, they got a boatload of problems.
Right.
It doesn't seem to stop ever.
But he came in there to try to rectify that situation and do the best that he could, and he informed his athletic director, Mac Rose, hey, man, here's the deal. The Colts want to talk to me. That's the NFL. That's a dream job. I mean, I've always wanted to be an NFL coach. I'm going to go and listen to the offer or do the interview. And he didn't get the job. And the thought is, well, now you got to walk back into that situation. Well, Baylor's pretty unique. You can walk back to Baylor and say, go to hell. I'm going to interview for another job next year too. And then from there, that's one thing you could do. You can't do that if you're somewhere else.
That's right. That's how that is.
That's how that rolls.
Your head coach is wanted by the Colts.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
You're lucky. And you know what? Next year when I get another offer, whether that's, William and Mary or wherever, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take a good long look at that job. That's how that's going to work. And you're welcome that I still work here at Baylor. But everybody else, it's a little bit more difficult, and I understand that, especially if you're gung-ho and you're already at a place that is a Power 5, juggernaut. That's why a lot of people looked at Jimbo with the John Desai. But what I would tell you is the whole key to the whole thing is being transparent with your players, your coaching staff, the athletic department, and your university president. If you do that, you got a shot. You got an outside shot of not pissing off too many people. You got a shot.
Yeah, it's tough, though. I mean, even Willie had a rough go of it, and Oregon doesn't like him very much.
And they never will from this point forward.
It's his dream job. That was the hard part there.
But what did he say? And I think there's a chance to maybe mend fences if he ever cares to at Oregon for those that are angry. He said, I know they're angry, and I know why, and I understand it. But this was an opportunity to take over my dream job.
And I hate it for him, Those people, I just
so
hate
anyhow,
it for him.
It's great to be here. No, I mean
he did seem contrite though.
Because listen, man, that was a heck of an opportunity. You go from coaching USF, which they're USF, whatever, and you go to a Power 5 conference with endless amounts of resources and support from Phil Knight, and a chance to coach in that Power 5, and he immediately turned them around and won 8 games. And when he had his quarterback out there, they were really good. So I think he recognized that was a step up and a step forward for his career. And he also understood that it was less than ideal, the set of circumstances that ended up playing out. But you can't turn down your dream job. Most places, I do think you've got to consider where you're at, what your end goal is, and what relationships you're willing to sever. I mean, you have to know that people feel very passionately about their universities, their schools, these communities, and their alumni and the fans of those institutions. It's near and dear to their heart. You're going to break hearts if you leave early for another school.
I'm not saying that it was a calculated PR move. I'm not, and I mean this legitimately, not like, wink, wink. I'm not saying this. But when Willie told the story about his son approaching him, and, you're always telling me to chase my dreams, I was like, man,
let's ride.
If I didn't believe it, that's the most perfect PR thing I've ever heard in my life, because how could you be mad at the man?
I would have written that.
Yes,
him
you
on
damn
a placard,
right.
I would have written that.
I thought to myself, is this the work of the PR firm? Did Jeff come off of?
I would have said, Willie, give me a call. You tell me what account you want me to send this to, but I got you. We're going to invoke your kid. That's how down and dirty we get at the JCS. We got to invoke the kid.
Well, that's how down and dirty we get. We got to pull Jeff out of the Cayman Islands because he's coming back for one more client.
I'm doing it. Willie, I got you. Let him be mad at your child. Ride with me on this one.
See how that goes.
Yeah. It's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. I don't know, Jeff. I'm sending over the placards. I got you. Memorize this. We're going to be all right here, killer. I'm telling you.
But in truth, the moment he delivered that, I thought, oh, well, good Lord. Isn't this guy just awesome? This guy's the best.
Yeah, but that's because it played. It was genuine.
Because he was breaking down, trying not to cry.
Right. And I bet you there were still a cynical few out there. I know there were at Oregon. Mm-hmm. Cry those fake tears, Willie. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
It's back. The 10th annual Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boating Center Red Trout Shootout Fishing Tournament presented by United Rentals on June 30th. This year, compete for a guaranteed purse of over $10,000 paid out in cash to the top 10 teams, weighing in the heaviest combined weight of one redfish and one sea trout. Get registered today by stopping in at Bass Pro Shops or log on to redtroutshootout.com. Save $20 per angler if you register by June 24th. It's the Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boating Center Red Trout Shootout on June 30th.
There's a place in downtown Tallahassee where summer breezes meet the best half-price happy hour on an outdoor patio just calling your name. It's Andrews, where friends meet friends for half-price happy hour. Half-price bottles, drafts, house wines, and spirits from 4 to 8 weekdays and all day on the weekends. It's happy hour on the patio time, Tallahassee, and the place is downtown at Andrews, Adams Street downtown. Better than ever.
Did you know that nearly every American sports team has at least one chiropractor on staff? They know that taking care of the spine and extremities is directly related to performance, and that's what we do at my office every day. I'm Dr. Rob with HealthSource Chiropractic, and it's my passion to restore health and optimize the lives of my patient family members. We use evidence-based methods with high-tech, simple science techniques to provide measurable results in the shortest time possible so you can get back to doing what you love. Don't just take my word for it. Read any of our over 100 5-star reviews. Call HealthSource today, 877-8980.
Hey,
I'm Jeff Doxey, Realtor for Capital Property Consultants, representing Premier Fine Homes. If you're thinking of owning your own brand new Premier home, call or text me at 850-545-4747 or email me, jeffdoxey1@gmail.com. You say where, I'll be there. Your Canopy Connection.
Time to check out our buddy Joe over at Truck and Car Concepts. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, what's going on with you guys?
Well, here's the deal. I heard that you were gone all day as you were out tinting a house.
Yes, sir. His customer was having a big heat problem on the west side of the house in the afternoon. We went over, did the estimate, decided to do the east side of the house as well. Let me tell you something. We knocked out 79% of the heat energy, which is going to totally knock down the electricity bill. Not only that, but she had some really nice paintings that were fading out in the living room. 99% ultraviolet ray elimination.
So it would fade out like carpets and drapes and furniture and stuff?
Not only that, but it also fades out those expensive hardwood floors. So window filming the house is nothing but a plus. Like I said, it comes and it takes down the heat energy, and that's, bottom line.
So even though the place is called Truck and Car Concepts, you could throw a house in there too.
We can do houses, planes, trains, or automobiles, man. If it's got glass, we tint it. Truck and Car Concepts, 656-8800. Give us a call.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello. Hope you're doing well on this Monday. If you're inside, you are. I went and hit golf balls over the weekend, Tom, as I'm wont to do, and I began to think about punching my testicles repeatedly as it was ungodly hot and humid. I was very frustrated, but I persevered, continued to hit golf balls.
So you're hitting golf balls when you thought about
continued to hit golf balls.
Hitting, testicles.
That's right. We've reached that place. Just being outside for a half an hour, I was like,
it's a lot of hitting of the balls.
A lot of golf balls being struck and a lot of moments to ponder the frustration I felt in that moment of how hot it was. Hit the golf balls well, though.
I was doing alignment drills over the weekend.
Were you really?
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to go.
What'd you do?
I got the tile floor in the kitchen, and so that gives me a chance because I have astigmatism, so my eyes are, they see at different depths. So it really screws with, what's a straight line and all that kind of crap. So I'm able to definitively say.
Can't you get that? Your glasses don't fix that?
They help to a degree.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They help, but if you're angled, if your head is angled a certain way.
Right.
My brain wants to use one of the eyes over the other. Anyway, so if I stand on tile
yell
floors.
At your brain and say, stop that. I'm trying to get it even here.
By the sixth hole, I'm 3 over, 4 over, and I'm already done for the day.
Yeah.
But the tile floor tells me the truth. I say, all right.
Tile will tell you the truth.
So I use the kitchen for the right reasons, for golf.
That's right, not cooking. She's got to do that, but you got to get lined up for golf.
That's what, listen.
By the way, on the subject of cooking here, and I want to note this because you guys all know that I'm a big fan of archaeology. I frequently bring it to the show. I got one for you today, guys. That's right. And it doesn't involve dinosaurs, which I always like, or ancient. Well, it does involve ancient humans, but I always love when we find, any of the cave drawings and all that. I love that stuff. But they found something else that's really cool. Did you know they found a 4,000-year-old Babylonian cookbook, basically on a tablet, for making a stew? And people at Yale and Harvard got together and put together the recipe to make this 4,000-year-old stew. How about that? They found it on a tablet. It was over 4,000 years old. It's on a display case. You could see the actual, you wouldn't be able to read it, but you could see the actual stew recipe. There, it's in a glass case at Yale, and they put it together. They made the stew. They said it tasted terrible. Every one of them, to a man, said it was awful. It's on that clay tablet, as I said. And here's the thing. You're not surprised to see that the broth included an awful lot of lamb and animal blood to try to thicken the stew a little bit. They used an awful lot of animal blood, which was a Babylonian thickener and favorite of the time. A lot of slicing of the necks of those animals back in the day, just dumping it into the stew. That doesn't sound tasty, does it?
About 3 cups of obsidian rocks.
Yeah, they also had instructions to suggest a festive meal for the elite that they would be serving too. Yeah, I'm sure that involved all kinds of wild sex to go with their stew.
Yeah.
I'm not real sure. But
human blood.
Yep. Well, that's true. Any of the servants that you needed to add to thicken the stew.
Maybe a thumb.
You could probably do that, but they are authentic. They have found that now. And then, because I went down that rabbit hole of discovering that, I thought, what else have they found? I like when they find old diaries of people who lived 4,000 and 5,000 years ago, and these people that have jotted down what their day was like, which oftentimes is a lot like our own day, kind of mundane, whatever. But what's interesting is they found something else. Did you know? And I couldn't believe this, and I thought it was very cool. There are a ton of cookbooks that have been found over the years with Mesopotamian fare. Man, that fascinates me. I'm telling you, that is so cool. Imagine that. You find all these old recipes from the Mesopotamians. That's nuts. That's just something. I read that this morning. I love that stuff.
You gonna try any of it?
No, doesn't look good. And I'm gonna guess that we've advanced to a place now where my palate would not be able to handle what it was they had to eat.
Probably not.
No, I would think not. I mean, life was short back then.
For a reason,
they
probably.
Had a tough go.
Yeah.
Tough go. They ate a lot of things that we would never eat now, and that our stomachs are not prepared to take in. With the kinds of that would be an uphill climb.
The blood cough.
Oh,
yeah.
That'd be a toughie.
The blood cough must be turning 30.
He's a goner. Imagine back in the day when you got a cold, there was like a 1 in 10 chance that was it. Done dealing. Bob's got a cold. It's been good, Bob. You know how you get mad when somebody sneezes and you're on a plane? Oh. Imagine how angry they got in the cave when somebody started sneezing. Like, that's it. We could all die because of you. Take it outside, ass.
They'd probably kill him.
Go to the woods. You're going to be dead in a week anyhow.
Right. So you get 3 sneezes. So the first 2, everybody's looking around.
Well, and also, you would do your best to really try to keep those on the down low. If you had the sniffles, you'd never let anybody know. You'd go outside.
You look like Dangerfield in a club in the 80s.
Sniffles for very different reasons, that's for sure. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
For less. Games for less. The Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
AmeriGas Propane would like to take this time to thank their valued customers for their business. At AmeriGas, serving their customers in a safe and responsible manner is their top priority. They're proud to be a part of the local community and participate in the many activities that support local charities and organizations that improve the neighborhoods where we all work, live, and play. For your propane needs, call on AmeriGas Propane. Call 877-1122.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, 'cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry.
is rewarding, but it's not exactly a bed of roses. It's a very dirty job, subject to the environment, working on 98-degree summer days, dodging rainstorms, working on steep slopes like a mountain goat. At Parker Brothers, our skilled workers have chosen this challenging trade as their career choice. These are the people that you want working on your roof. We've been servicing the community since 1995. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
CGC 042221, CCC 049350.
The holidays are coming. Well, in a few months, and that's why now is the time to shower up with a beautiful custom bath or shower enclosure from Widden Glass. Don't wait for the holiday rush. Widden Glass will take care of you this summer to your complete satisfaction. They've been helping to design and install bath and shower enclosures for Tallahassee homeowners for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with real glass people, experienced, reliable professionals. Widden's top-of-the-line bath and shower enclosures provide style and luxury at an affordable price. With the holidays coming, that means family, and that means now is the time to shower up with style.
Call today. Widden Glass, the real glass people. 222-5781 or online at widdenglass.com. WHIDDON. Widden, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. 222-5781.
Football season is right around the corner, so round up your fantasy football leagues and come out to Hooters. Hooters will be hosting fantasy football draft parties starting on June 16th. There will be draft kits available for use with coupons inside. If interested, register on the Hooters website at hooters.com. Don't miss the opportunity for the draft of a lifetime at Hooters Tallahassee, located at 2000 North Monroe Street, Tallahassee, Florida, 385-2004. Remember, no great stories started over breadsticks.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history. June 25th, 1969. 41-year-old Pancho Gonzalez and Charlie Pasarell played in the longest match in Wimbledon history, both in terms of time, 5 hours and 12 minutes, and games, 112. This was before the tournament introduced tiebreakers. Gonzalez saved 7 match points before winning, and the record still stands to this day.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. So I got to admit, good on you, Scott Frost. We've had these conversations before, Tom. I read an article over the weekend in which new Nebraska coach Scott Frost said, look here, man, we're looking at your social media if you're a recruit. If you're a player on our team and or if you're a recruit, he said he was part of a camp they had last week. He told prospects in no uncertain terms that certain mistakes on social media are going to be disqualifiers for him at Nebraska. You know, we always ask this question about what would be your take if you were a new head coach with social media. And, you know, I think it's wrought with danger in the hands of anybody, but especially young kids who routinely, for lack of a better term, show their ass in ways that can be really, really damaging. We saw it here at Florida State when Jimbo first took over and had to pull kids aside and crazy things were said.
Mm-hmm.
Certain safety.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, about cops and the like.
Yeah. Not a good idea. And so you always think to yourself, man, I don't know. Kids are young. They're impressionable. They say things. They're knee-jerk. It's a toughie. Well, this is what he said. Quote, aside from GPA, when we're recruiting kids, the next thing we're going to look at is what kind of person are they? And part of that is looking through every ounce of social media that we can possibly find. So if some kid is tweeting something that's bad, we're going to know about it. I'll tell you this right now. If there's anything negative on there about women, if there's anything that is racially charged or about sexuality, if there's anything to do with guns or violence to animals, we're just not going to recruit you. I thought, well, fair enough policy. I would imagine that should just about be everybody's policy, right? Don't you think we've graduated to that place now?
Probably, but if they're willing to speak on issues in a responsible way that advances discussion,
that I have no problem with.
I think what he's saying is the negative connotation of any of those discussions.
Yes, I don't think he means if you're being responsible socially about how it is that we ought to treat women better and how it is we should treat animals better and how we should be responsible gun owners. He's not suddenly going to go, well, you're ridiculous.
You're political. I can't have you.
No, he's not saying that. Right. And then he talked about it being a piece of advice for young people at that camp saying, look, remember, that's part of your resume to the world, your social media. You have to understand that whether it's football or anywhere else. And that's what we're trying to tell you about, that you're advertising yourself. So be smart with that kind of stuff. But as for us at Nebraska, we'll drop somebody very quickly if they've got something ridiculous on their social media account. I wonder if that's true. I bet it's a direct link to how well you can play.
Oh, yeah.
If you run a 4.2, we might ignore what you tweeted 2 years ago about guns. If you run a 4.3, we might ignore what you said about drugs or what you said about whatever 3 years ago. If you're middling, we're going to take that very seriously.
Yeah. I think the hard part here, and this is where Jimbo would, I think he got it right, and this is maybe what resonates when he goes into homes of players. Man, it ain't binary. The world is not 1 or 0. It's not binary.
Sure.
There's so much gray area, and everybody's take on how you should exist, ethics, all that kind of stuff, completely different based upon your economic circumstances, what part of the country you're from.
Yeah, where you're from. And all
I
that.
fully understand the sentiment of what he's talking about because there's some universal truths across the board.
It's never okay to abuse animals. It's never okay to beat women. It's never okay.
Right.
So that wouldn't matter where you're from, your age, where you grew up. Nope, zero tolerance on all those.
Right, but if it's lyrics or if it's about drugs, if it's about the culture of growing up in a really poor and violent area.
Absolutely,
and
if you're retweeting a song that illustrates what that is to be in that neighborhood, I mean, I got you.
Or if you're an echo chamber for where you've come up in life, I mean, that's the hard part here is you got to parse out, is somebody going to be of that the rest of their lives, or is that what they've grown up in and they'll see a better way when they get to my university?
I just think it's an added situation that coaches deal with today that I would really be leery of. It's a brutal time consumer. These are things, it used to be, you had to certainly look into a kid's background to see if he was violent, to see if he was a criminal, to see if he was in any way deranged about any number of things, topics, or whatever it would be. That would be anybody with any job anywhere else. I'm just speaking to football here. And you could probably pretty easily get that information. Social media monitoring, man, there's no way as a coach with all that I have to do I have the time to do that? Surely I'm going to ask somebody on our staff to do that, but good Lord, what a thankless job that is. I would loathe that position. You know how you and I have talked about if we were part of these extended staffs, give me the job that has me in the dark all day long analyzing film.
Yeah.
Give me the job that, might sound like not something you want to do if you're the average Joe, but you and I would like. I mean, those exist in the world of college football. This would be the one job, no thanks, no how, no way.
But I think there's a real area for this of expertise where you can hire somebody who can do psych profiles based on social media.
Yeah.
I'm sure that type of research is being done. It can analyze the type of post you're putting up and then give a profile of the player.
Why they would, yeah.
Which makes it easier for you when you're pitching the kid because now you know what makes them tick. They're giving you more information than you've ever had.
That's true.
About how they tick.
Well, and you're speaking to access to information, and gobs of it is a good thing.
Yeah.
It could also be an overwhelming thing. It could also be a situation where it's time-consuming and to a degree misleading. But you're right. Access to information is very seldomly a bad thing.
Well, if I were a coach or if I were organizing, and I'm sure they do this. I don't think this is an original thought. I'm sure they're doing this right now. But I would want my people who are studying the social media, looking for any red flags or whatever, I want them to have a degree in this stuff so that they can categorize by the time of day these kids are posting. Do they get more negative as the day goes on versus the beginning of the day?
They have to have in-depth knowledge of the subject, obviously.
Right.
And they have to, and understand what it's unveiling.
Yeah, because I want to use it to my advantage. Because if the kid's a morning person, then I'm going in his home in the morning. I'm meeting him at school in the morning. If he gets angry
too many kids, I'll tell you that right now, that are morning.
Well, but you know what I mean. If there are more positive posts from 8 a.m. to noon,
Sure.
and I want to do that because I don't want to do the in-home and evening because they're ornery by the end of the day. They're tired and they're pissed off at the world. Okay, so let's hit them when the time is right, or let's stay on the topics. It's great. You're giving me a profile on how I need to pitch you. They should be taking advantage of that.
I think employers across the board are doing those types of things for job interviews, and that's what this is, in essence. You're talking
We do
about,
for any intern.
Yeah.
I go straight to the social media. I say, are you cuckoo? That's my first rule. It's like, are you nuts? Let's go find out because you're going to tell me.
Yeah, people telling themselves very quickly on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, very, very quickly. It's amazing. You could probably, within 5 minutes, discern whether or not that's somebody you want in the office. Oh, well, we're done here. Oh, all right. Solid as a rock. Gotcha. All right, I'll listen to you.
Or,
let's have a meeting.
This person doesn't look like they're going to be in a morning shift anytime soon. And even if they're here, I'm not sure they're here. I mean, because you're getting college kids.
Yeah,
what kind of college kid are you?
And every college kid is likely to have had moments where they look back and think, boy, probably shouldn't have posted that.
Well, I'm glad Millar didn't look at my Facebook profile.
From back in the day?
Oh, I don't know that I would have made it.
Well, and also at the time that you were involved with Facebook, it was a very collegial thing.
Yes.
That's where it was born, and only college kids had it. It's changed radically from the time that you were in college to where we are now. So, yeah, that's.
Oh, I've cleaned some stuff up on there, too.
Well, but also nobody would have looked.
It was a .edu site.
Right, that's what I mean. Nobody,
yeah.
They didn't, it was all party pictures, I'm sure. I mean, because it was all college kids, and that's what college kids do.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
...2018 Frontier pickups have a $1,500 rebate plus 0% interest for 60 months. All 2018 Rogues are $4,000 off MSRP, with prices starting at just $21,965. Note, I said all Rogues, not some, are $4,000 off. 2018 Versa S's start at an unbelievable $12,960 for a new car. But the true star of summer is the 2018 Altima. All Altimas, and we have over 60 to choose from, are $6,000 off MSRP. That's right, all 2018 Altimas are $6,000 off, with prices starting at just $18,970. And as always, all Craft Nissans come with our exclusive free lifetime warranty. So before you head off on your summer vacation, head to Craft Nissan for unbeatable prices. Prices include dealer preparation charge, must finance through NMAC with approved credit, and take delivery from dealer stock.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $28.95 and get a $10 O'Reilly gift card by mail. Protect your engine from sludge and wear with Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with new, clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. Why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
This is The Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show. On 97.9 ESPN Radio.
What do we got tonight? I'll pull it up. Matthew, out of curiosity, feel real good about Velasquez? Simple nod. You do. I like watching the Yankees struggle as they just did against the Rays, and the Phillies are in good place here, and they're just plus money coming in there, baby. Just a little plus action for Big Daddy
plus
J.
Action. All right.
Plus action coming in tonight here, so maybe that's the play at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Hey, before I ever get to the baseball, let me get to the golf for a second. We didn't talk about it today, but we're not too far removed from the British Open. And you'll be over there at the time, but not attending the British Open. But you'll have opportunities, Tom. You will have opportunities to enjoy their lack of shame and restrictions on gambling. They don't have any. Feel free, fire away, do what you got to do because we're all grown-ups here. We're not real worried about it. And there's a couple of things to note after Bubba Watson's win. Which, by the way, I know neither of us enjoy Bubba Watson, the person, but man, was he brilliant yesterday. Some of those shots are insane.
That is true, and I watched some of the pregame coverage for the golf, and in studying, because last year the Travelers was great this Sunday. That
it was good again this year. I watched it. Yeah,
was the Spieth Berger playoff where Spieth got lucky on about 4 shots, including the playoff hole where it hits off of the tree right in front of the tee box.
And then he makes it out of the bunker.
Right, yeah, it's completely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But it was good TV, and I was doing some homework on it, and it felt like Paul Casey was going to shoot a bad number just because he had shot 3 rounds in the 60s, including a 62. So what happens the next day?
Yeah, usually.
Chances are, but I thought that meant maybe 70, 69, or 68. And instead, he shot a 72, and Bubba took it from him. But everybody on the desk before golf started yesterday said, well, watch out for Bubba. He's won it twice. He shot 63 here before, so it's not that big of a deal to him.
Shot 63 again.
Right.
On a Sunday to win it with some ludicrous shots. By the way, poor Paul Casey, the feeling that you have about him all the time when he steps up to try to win on a Sunday is that he's not going to, and for good reason. His opening tee shot way right, hits the stanchion. He got lucky. It throws back into the fairway. He ends up flying the green and getting up and down for birdie, which was kind of shocking, but he looked a mess to start, and I thought, man, so you're that guy. You're the guy that sleeps with the lead and is done.
Yeah, but listen to this, too. Earlier in the day, there was the BMW International Championship, which is kind of like a major over there for the Euro Tour.
Yeah.
And Martin Keimer's playing in his home nation of Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And he is running down the leaders for 2 days.
And he has won a major.
He's won the Players as well. So he's a big-time player, and he's won some big stuff.
Yeah.
However, in this moment, he's on the 17th hole, which is a drivable, or might have been 16, no matter, about 280 yards, 290, a very short drivable par 4. And on the tee box, all the announcers can talk about, well, there's no way he's hitting a mid-iron here because he's going to leave himself a half wedge. And historically in his career, he's terrible with that shot.
Okay.
So he hits that shot, and he leaves himself 40 to 50 yards. He blades it behind the green. It is the worst shot I've seen down the stretch when somebody has a chance. Dude, it's like in the middle of the golf ball kind of nonsense. It goes through the green. He ends up making bogey when he had to go birdie to win it. And his tournament's over. So yesterday I watched two people in two completely different ways blow a golf tournament.
Meltdown, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you can be one of the best players in the world, and you're just not immune to the pressures of the moment and having to win. And I also think that I get it. The more experience you have, the better you are. As you gain experience, you climb hurdles and you have opportunities. The more comfortable you are when you feel the weight of the moment. It doesn't mean you don't feel the weight of the moment. It just means you're more comfortable in dealing with that. But it's still there. And, Brooks Koepka wins the U.S. Open, and on 18, he's in the middle of the fairway, and he yanks it far left and hits the freaking thing. I mean, I'm just telling you, that guy is rock solid.
But I think who you play with matters. I think there's gravity to your playing partner.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Always true. But for a player like Paul Casey, if he was paired with Bubba Watson, I think he sleeps on the lead a little bit differently. I don't even remember who the hell he was paired with, but that guy didn't factor in anything. So, if you have somebody for Brooks in the U.S. Open, he's playing with Dustin.
Yeah, and they're friends.
They're friends, but he knows that Dustin can go low. I am forced.
I got to go out and make,
Dottie Pepper said it in the broadcast yesterday. When I had a 4-shot lead, I always thought I need to add to the lead. It's not sit on the lead, it's add to it.
This is also how but there are two different ways of looking at that, because on Sundays, Tiger Woods didn't care about adding anything. He hit to the middle of the green and played for par and said, come get me on a Sunday.
Well, he knew he had a fear factor about him that Paul Casey clearly doesn't have.
No, he doesn't have. I think it's a matter of being what you are, comfortable however you have to be, and doing whatever the game plan is. And whatever that game plan's been for 3 days, it has to be the next day too. And not everybody feels real comfortable being more aggressive, let's say. But Dottie obviously did. The only reason I bring any of this up towards the end of the show is I'm just blown away by the fact that there are world-class golfers with multiple majors who are both in the midst of mind-bogglingly bad seasons with the putter. Rory McIlroy is 113th in strokes gained putting. He was 140th just this past year. He can't putt. I mean, after 2 years of not being able to putt, we just need to conclude that he cannot putt. And further proof of this, I looked it up today. He is in the top 5 in ball striking. Well, he always is. To watch him hit an iron or a driver is beautiful most days.
Yeah.
But good Lord, he can't putt a lick. And Jordan Spieth's the same way right now.
Well, and to speak to how mentally tough Rory is, that he hasn't completely caved, because at some point you're going to get so frustrated it's going to make you terrible at other facets of your game, but he's still not.
Well, and this is what I would ask you. Spieth is 179th on tour in strokes gained putting. Recently, the updated stats show that the rest of his game is beginning to decline. Yep. And the theory is that he's put so much time and effort into getting his putting right that the other aspects of his game are suffering. He's close to having a meltdown, my man. I mean, I don't want to say, and I don't wish anything bad because I don't care about him one way or the other. I'm somewhat indifferent about him. I'm not a fan, but I also don't care. I feel like he's about to throw up an 86 somewhere. I mean, he's got real problems because other aspects of the game are beginning to decline because he's so hyper-focused on putting, and the putting stats are getting worse, not better.
Well, and he wasn't great off the tee to begin with, so there's that problem. I agree with you to an extent, but I do think that the Open Championship is a great place for people who can't putt because it's very basic greens and they're slow.
Yeah.
So if you're a great ball striker, then chances
Get
are
it there and give yourself a
30
shot,
feet at the Open is not the same thing as 30 feet at Augusta.
I also feel like the Open's a great place for people who can't keep it straight off the tee. So, I mean, you just fling it out there anywhere, and you got all day to look at. You know, you could hit it from the other fairway. Mostly there are no OBs. So, I mean,
this is true. And short game, there's a lot of freedom there as well. You can hit it low, hit it high.
It's a weird major that I'm not a fan of for a lot of reasons, and we just named 3 of them. And then if you throw in the fact that some wind can come in for 80 mile per hour on a Saturday morning, and if you get lucky and avoid it, you have a shot to win the tournament. If you don't, whatever shot you had to win it is gone, even if you're playing well. You know, and I hate that. I hate that. It happens there more than most places is my problem.
It's life, man. The Open Championship is life. Sometimes it's not fair.
it's also, there's a difference in life between the poor guy that has a flat tire and the one that gets hit by a bus. And so I'm just saying, yeah, that's life, but one's a little bit easier to overcome than the other. And I mean, I hate the way that tournament fluctuates on the randomness of that. Probables, my friend, we have plenty of time to debate the British Open in 3 weeks or 2 weeks.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Yankees, Phils, aforementioned. My money's, Big Daddy J's money, is on the Phillies at home. Jonathan Loaizaga going to start for the Yankees. Vince Velasquez goes for the Phillies. We've got Mariners, Orioles. It is Monday. Felix Hernandez, Andrew Kashner. D-backs, Marlins, Shelby Miller, Dan Straley, Pirates, Mets. Oh, buddy! Well, I didn't know that. Probably because I stopped paying attention to the Pirates.
Yeah. 10-4 on that one.
Jamison Tyon, Seth Lugo. Well, if the Pirates don't beat the Mets tonight, they ain't going to beat them. Because Tyon's pretty good. We'll see.
Yeah, you should tattoo Lugo. It's the long...
We don't tattoo anybody.
Well, get the needles out tonight, buddy.
Nats, Rays, Gio Gonzalez, Blake Snell. Can you tell that Tom and I feel real good about our teams? I'm telling him we got no chance. He's telling me they got no chance.
I think I'm right. We're 7-25 in our last 32.
We suck. Nats, Rays, Gio Gonzalez, Blake Snell. We got Reds, Braves. Hey, Reds are red hot. Tyler Mahle, Mike Fultonevich. Fulte. Padres, Rangers, Joey Lucchesi. Cole Hamels goes for the Rangers. Always reminded that Cole Hamels is a really good guy. He and his wife spent millions of dollars on a home to help kids who lost their parents to tragedy and stuff like that. I mean, just an awesome guy.
Really?
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, super nice guy. They spent $8 million of his own money.
It's a rival fan talking because his persona on the mound is he's just a red-ass you-know-what.
Turns out he's super, super good guy. Jays, Astros, J.A. Happ, Justin Verlander. Whoa! Vegas probably set that at like minus 280 for Verlander. You can't even bother to bet it anymore. Verlander's been so good, they can't get you to bet the other side. It's nuts. Indians, Cardinals, Clevenger, Gant, sorry. Cubs, Dodgers. Good to see the Cubs get swept over the weekend. Just saying, good to see that. Dwayne Underwood Jr. sounds like a character in a bad sitcom. Kenta Maeda going to go for the Dodgers, and that is a look at those that shall reside them up.
The summer wind.
By the way, Dwayne is making his debut. You're saying to yourself, I've never heard of Dwayne Underwood Jr., and that's because he got a call-up to make his Major League debut against the Dodgers. He is the second-round pick from the 2012 draft. I would say this. I don't know. Maybe he'll have success. Maybe he won't. But in AAA this past year, 13 starts with the old 4.57.
This may be one of those rotation is overworked. We need an emergency taxi squad guy starts.
Well, their bullpen blew every game over the weekend, which was good, every single one of them. And, we could all celebrate that.
Boy, you're really enjoying
I
it.
hate the Cubs. I mean, it's fun to watch them struggle. I make no bones about that.
How much of the draft did you catch this weekend, buddy?
0. I didn't catch any of the draft this weekend. Did good things happen for the Lightning?
We'll see.
We have no idea, right?
Yeah. Chances
are
a
15-year-old from Canada?
Chances are the answer is yes, because they draft well.
They do. Hey, folks, to donate to those affected in East Point, head to GoFundMe.com, search East Point Fire Victim Relief Fund. Want to remind all of you of that. That's a good thing. Once again, GoFundMe.com, search for East Point Fire Victim Relief. East Point Fire Victim Relief.
You should see something on the page, too, that notes that it's the FCSO official.
I would think, right? Yeah.
Well, you will.
Yeah.
But if it's the right place, then you most certainly will. In the description, it says Franklin County Sheriff's Office. You also see a little note on the right as well.
We got the Bravos tonight?
We do, with the Reds. That should start. Well, there's no extra programming tonight, right?
No, nothing.
So that should start about 20 minutes or so.
Sadly for you and I mean, this is a situation where we're probably tuning into more Braves games these days than we are anything else. I watch Matthews Phillies more than I watch my Pirates these days. I watch the Braves. I never thought I'd say that. More than I watch my Pirates these days. I watch my wife's Red Sox team because they're loaded and really good and always fun to watch. That's about it.
I watch Golf Channel.
I do too. I watch a lot of Golf Channel. I've been watching the World Cup. Not a lot of Pirates baseball at the Cameron household these days. Mm-hmm. So much so that my son, the oldest, said, "Dad, why haven't you watched the Pirates in a while?" And my answer was, "We suck." And he went, "Well, I mean, he kind of has grown to where he likes some of the players. So I'm blowing an opportunity. I should probably."
Yeah, definitely. You got to reinforce it because now he's going to be a fair weather fan.
Well, it didn't mean I stopped rooting for them. I just don't have to sit there. And we got swept this weekend, and I knew that was going to happen. And so I sat and watched. And after the first two, I went, I'm not watching Game 3. I don't need to see Game 3.
Relief is coming your way, buddy.
Football?
No, you got the Mets.
Oh, I don't think so.
You're okay.
No, we're not going to be okay. We're going to lose to the Mets. And then I know we have hit rock bottom. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.